Chapter 151. How much does it cost to hire an army? Chapter 151. How much does it cost to hire an army? Whenever one encounters a real scumbag, one would probably have an impulse to kill him. However, Chun Zhao was more rational than that. While he was somewhat impulsive, he also thought about how he could settle the issue without getting involved. Firstly, he did not plan to sacrifice his freedom or life in order for this scumbag to go to hell. But what should I do to let Philip Quinn receive the punishment that he deserves? This was another difficult problem. Chun Zhao was actually boasting when he made the promise to Ethan and Caprice. He indeed knew demonic sorcery, but it was not omnipotent. Chun Zhao had a headache thinking for a solution. Screech. Suddenly, a car stopped beside Chun Zhao. He also heard a familiar voice. Chun, it's really you. Chun Zhao turned his head and realized that it was Marguerite. Marguerite, shouldn't you be in Mexico now? Why are you here? I'm back. The problem's been settled. The people who had been chasing my boss and I were already killed. Marguerite seemed to be on the crest of a wave. His car was new and obviously expensive, and his bald head was bright and shiny. Where's your pets? I almost didn't manage to recognize you just now when you were facing away from me. Every time, you had Walter, Beelzebub, and the rest with you. Why do you just have a box today? Do you need a ride? After brief consideration, Chun Zhao entered Marguerite's car. Something seems to be troubling you. Are you in trouble? Marguerite, if I want to go near a rich person, what should I do? You want to kidnap a rich person? Marguerite asked doubtfully. No, just go near him. You want something from him? A guy who deserves to go to hell. Oh, you want to kill him? No, but I want him to suffer. Who's he? Marguerite asked. Can I trust you? Chun Zhao stared at Marguerite carefully. Yes, just like how I trusted you, Marguerite answered with a serious tone. Not long ago, a bastard was put in jail. The warden asked me to heal him so that he wouldn't have the chance to be released on medical grounds. However, after I healed him, he still managed to be released. Now he has both health and freedom. What does this have to do with you? My best friend's kid was harmed by him before and eventually died. Who's the person? Philip Quinn. Have you heard of him? Oh, I see. He's a billionaire. Marguerite looked at Chun Zhao. It's not easy to approach him. Whenever he goes out, he would have professional bodyguards from Blackwater Company with him. If you want to attack him, you better hire an army. How about his house? CL Building. The top 3 floors are all his. To get into CL Building, you first need to have an access card, and then pass through a security check. As for what the top 3 floors look like, I have no idea. Haven't been there too. Where's CL Building? Do you see the tallest and biggest building there? That's CL Building. It has 130 floors in total. Looking at the building, which was a few times taller than the surrounding structures, Chun Zhao could feel his heart shatter. Whichever angle he looked at the building from, he obtained the same conclusion. There was no way to enter it by force. How much does it cost to hire an army? You really believed me? Marguerite said, rolling his eyes. This is Los Angeles. Unless you get a nuclear bomb, you wouldn't succeed. Do you know anyone who sells nuclear bombs? Do you have enough money to buy one? How much does a nuclear bomb cost? Perhaps Philip Quinn can afford it, but definitely not you. Ah, what a headache. Why did I volunteer for this? Chun Zhao patted his head in frustration. Oh yeah, another important thing. What? You said that you can treat my baldness. Chun Zhao clenched his fist and almost punched Marguerite right away. Wait for a few days. Let me finish my task first, Chun Zhao said. Is this so important to you? Yes. I have a suggestion, Marguerite said. What? Intercept him on the road. Of course, you have to know his itinerary first. Is there a way I can get that? This. Marguerite made a hand signal to indicate that Chun Zhao had to pay. How much? 300,000. I can arrange a few people to do the job, but I can't promise that it'll succeed. Chun Zhao twitched his lips. 300,000. It hurts. Can it be cheaper? Marguerite shook his head. I only gave you this price because we're old friends. I'm not taking any money for myself. I need to cause blockages in a few roads so that your target travels a specific path. All these need a lot of money. Give me your account number. I'll transfer the money to you. Let me tell you first, I'm only in charge of blocking the roads. As for what you want to do next, it's all up to you. All right, but I hope that I can settle this ASAP. Can you get Philip Quinn's itinerary for these few days? Chen Zhao shook his head. No, I can help you get it, but you need to pay me too? How much? I'll tell you the total sum after it's over. Just tell me how much it'll roughly be first. 300,000 is the most expensive one. Since you're willing to pay that much, would you even care about tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, Chen Zhao nodded, his face filled with pain. Don't speak as if 10,000 is a small amount, okay? Just then, Chen Zhao received a call from an unfamiliar number. Hi, Chen, are you free? Do you forget my voice already? I'm Diana Billis. Remember? I'm in a car now. It's too noisy, so I didn't recognize your voice. Sorry. What's up? I feel unwell. Can you come here? How are you unwell? Chen Zhao really did not want to go. Just unwell. I don't know where either. You promised me that I can call you whenever I need something. Chen Zhao rubbed his forehead. I didn't say that I'm not going. After all, Diana had a psychological trauma previously. Chen Zhao did not dare to reject her directly. Chen Zhao was in a terrible fix at the moment. He felt as if he had encountered all possible issues in a single day. After he hung up, he asked Marguerite to drive him to UCLA. Chen, I'll contact those people for you first. Wait for my call. Great. I'll go first. See you. Chen Zhao easily found Diana's room and knocked on the door. Diana, are you inside? Chapter 152. Keep it in. Chapter 152. Keep it in. Chen, the door isn't locked. You can come in. Chen Zhao pushed the door open and saw Diana Billis lazing in bed in sexy lingerie. She rested her chin on her hand and bit her finger. Chen, come over. Chen Zhao massaged his temples. Diana, if you... Call me Bridget. Okay, Bridget. I don't think you can exercise yet. She'd had abortion a few days ago and lost a lot of blood yesterday. Her old injuries might resurface without 1 or 2 weeks of recovery. However, Diana reached out and grabbed Chen Zhao. Chen, I can help you. Chen Zhao was almost losing control. Diana's body radiated with the aura of youth. Her smooth skin and full breasts made Chen Zhao's pants tighten. Chen, keeping it in is too much work. It's no good for the body either. Diana already had her hands on Chen Zhao's belt and was helping him undo it. She pulled Chen Zhao onto the bed, flipped over, and was under him. Chen Zhao woke up with a start and patted Diana. No, your health condition really isn't suitable. Fine, then lay here with me. The door opened. Evely walked in. Seeing Chen Zhao and Diana snuggling under the covers, she froze but quickly recovered. Can you two lock the doors next time you guys do it? Evely glared at Chen Zhao. And you're a doctor. Don't you know that Diana can't do intense exercise right now? Evely, we didn't do anything, Diana said. Did you eat yet? Evely asked while organizing her stuff. Chen Zhao patted Diana's perky butt. Get up. Let's eat together. Okay, let me chain. I'll go wait for you outside, Chen Zhao said. No need. You've already seen my entire body. I'll wait for you two downstairs. However, it never took only a few minutes for a woman to get out of bed and out the door. Ah, I'll wait for you downstairs. I'll be ready really fast, I swear. Diana also realized that she made Chen Zhao wait too long. She quickly put on eyeliner, some concealer, and went out while holding Chen Zhao's arm. A tall black man walked over from across the hallway. He was close to 9 feet tall and had an overbearing manner. Hi, Bridget. He walked over and tried to slap Chen Zhao away. Where are you going? Want to go together? But Chen Zhao grabbed the man's wrist. Don't you see that Bridget is with me? Yellow. The next moment, Chen Zhao's foot was at his stomach and he flew back. Chen Zhao's kick didn't seem to cause too much damage. The man stood back up. Motherfucker, I'm gonna stuff your head in your ass. Tiger, don't go overboard. Diana stood before Chun Zhao. She was worried Tiger would hurt Chun Zhao. "This is between us men. Girl, get out of the way," Tiger yelled. Chun Zhao patted Diana's shoulder. "Bridget, it's okay. Go to the side." But Diana looked at the difference in size between Chun Zhao and Tiger. It was like a little lamb and a fierce tiger. "It's okay. Trust me." Chun Zhao walked in front of Diana, standing face to face to Tiger. In all sorts of fighting competitions, the bigger one was, the bigger the advantage. That was why many competitions had weight classes. It was totally unfair for a heavier guy fight a lighter guy. Of course, no one cared about fairness in a school fight. There weren't any rules either. Whoever flattened the other was the winner. Tiger roared and hurled a punch at Chun Zhao. Chun Zhao ducked down. He dodged Tiger's attack and grabbed his arm at the same time. He threw Tiger over his shoulder, smashing onto the ground. Then he kicked Tiger's ribs. "Ah!" Tiger yelled out from pain. "Get up. Let's keep going." This was the first time Chun Zhao met a match after he started training. Tiger stood up unsteadily. His ribs were in pain, but he put on a fierce expression. Clearly, he wanted to erase the humiliation. He was a boxer too. But after that last beating, he realized that Chun Zhao wasn't weaker than him. He was good at fighting too. If they went with the way he fought in competitions, he would never be able to win. This was why he gave up on the typical methods. He charged toward Chun Zhao, opening his arms wide as if wanting to embrace the other. Chun Zhao also shot forward, crashing into Tiger's arms. Thud! Chun Zhao took 2 steps back. His head felt heavy but quickly recovered. On the other hand, Tiger let out a scream. He was thrown back, limbs in jumbled mess as if he'd been hit by a truck. Diana threw herself into Chun Zhao's arms and looked at him with worry. "Chun, are you okay?" Chun Zhao hugged her with one arm and dipped down to kiss her forehead. "I'm okay. Let's go." "Chun, you're awesome." He was quite proud to be complimented by a woman. "I'm not awesome. He's just too weak." Tiger, lying on the ground, hadn't lost consciousness. He heard Chun Zhao and Diana's conversation clearly and did not feel good about it. Many students in the hallway witnessed this scene. No one would have guessed that Tiger, who was about to become a professional boxer, was actually beaten up by an Asian guy. Tiger was more than twice the size of Chun Zhao. He was more than 200 pounds, and he trained and ate according to the standard for the heavyweight class. Professional organizations had their eyes on him too. He could become a professional after he graduated. No one expected that he would get beaten by an amateur in school. Chun Zhao and Diana walked out of the dorm building. When Evely saw them, she immediately came over to complain. "You two are way too slow. You didn't have sex while I was gone, right? Let's go. Where should we go eat? You take the lead since you're more familiar with this place." "Are you treating?" "Of course." Chapter 153, Hostility. Chapter 153, Hostility. "Chun, you've learned professional boxing before?" "No, I just hired a fighting coach in a fitness center. I go there every day and train for an hour," Chun Zhao answered casually. "Then how did you beat Tiger up so badly?" Diana stared at Chun Zhao, rather surprised. "You beat Tiger up? That's impossible. Tiger's basically a professional boxer." Evely's face was filled with disbelief. "Why would you go and learn how to fight?" "I was beaten before." "Oh, I remember. It's when we met on the train and your face was bruised, right?" "I fell down that time." Chun Zhao really did not want to tell them that he had actually been beaten by a woman. "So can you now defeat the person who beat you up last time?" "The person who beat me up is my coach now." Macallan Bodhi received news that the Asian was in the university again. Therefore, he contacted Tiger right away and asked Tiger to find a reason to beat the Asian up. However, he waited for over half an hour and Tiger had still yet to return. He was already somewhat impatient. Just then, a student hurriedly ran towards him. "Bodhi, it's all gone wrong." "What's wrong?" "Tiger was beaten up. He's probably going to have to stay in bed for a month. He's supposed to have a professional competition half a month later, but now he's surely going to miss it." "What? Tiger's beaten up? How? Who can injure him?" "It's that Asian." Tiger asked me to inform you to compensate him $10,000, or he'll tell everyone that you asked him to beat an outsider up. This is blackmailing. Macallan roared furiously. Is it not embarrassing enough that he lost to an Asian? Tell him I'll never compensate him. If he dares to leak anything, he's going to be expelled too. While Macallan's family was quite wealthy, he was just a student. There was no way he could pay $10,000. Moreover, if it was really exposed, he would indeed be punished, but so would Tiger. As for the initiator of the problem, he was current enjoying lunch with two ladies. Treed Pimpton opened the door and saw Winry Gargamel outside. Treed frowned. Winry, why are you here? Recently someone's been active in town. He seems to be investigating Depler's death. The police? No. I've seen him enter and leave the house at the edge of the town, Winry said. Is it that Asian? Do you know the people living in that house? Seen him once, Treed replied. It should be because of Bant's son. Their friend So Bant wanted that Asian to help in the investigation. Just nice. There seem to be 4 or 5 people in that house, and our sacrificial ritual only needs 3 more. Sacrifice them, and our wishes shall be fulfilled. No, Treed rejected firmly. Depler's death has already attracted the attention of the police. If that Asian and his friends all die, the police will certainly make a thorough investigation. We should stick to our original plan and continue to attract criminals here. If the people killed are criminals, the police will not investigate fully. As long as we can summon Besta, our wishes will be fulfilled. Merely a few police are anything but threatening. I'm different from you. You can give up everything, but I still have to live here, Treed said. Hee hee. Winry gave out a series of peculiar laughter. Since you don't dare to do it, I will. Even if something goes wrong, I can still hide in the mountain. The police can't do anything to me. Treed kept silent, but some gloom flashed across his eyes. Although he had been cooperating with Winry, he was very unhappy about her unilateral decisions. Winry was a truly lawless monster. In the past, she would only kill animals and take their blood. The police would not really interfere. However, if there were frequent murders of commoners, the police would surely start to investigate. Their plan was not perfect in the first place, even though perfect plans did not exist in this world anyway. If someone really dug deeper, their secrets might be exposed. Their original plan was to only find criminals. The police would think that it was resentment between gangs and not really investigate. However, if it involved commoners, the police would have to go further. Winry, if you kill all of them, you'll attract too much attention. Just kill the person who's been investigating. This will warn them too. Treed, do not tell me what to do. Winry turned her head and looked coldly at Treed. Treed stared back at Winry. None of them was willing to give in. If we attract a large number of police before our plan is completed, can you even kill all of them? Although Winry was powerful, she was indeed no longer a normal human. She would still not be able to kill everyone. The scenes in movies where a monster could kill tens or hundreds of people would not appear in reality. Winry had turned herself into a ghoul. She had an outstanding resistance towards physical attacks, but only those that affected a small area. For example, shooting her with a bullet would be completely ineffective, because as long as she was not disabled, she would still be able to move and attack freely. However, what if there were 100 bullets? If her limbs were entirely destroyed, or her body was blasted into pieces by a grenade, she would die too. Winry could ignore physical damage, because her body was already dead. Standing before Treed at the moment was nothing more than a mere corpse. Nevertheless, she still needed a vessel for her soul. If her body was shattered, her soul would have nowhere to go. Of course, Winry would still make a formidable evil spirit with powerful toxicology spells. Notwithstanding, she would not be able to kill dozens of people. In order to collect sacrificial souls as quickly as possible, she even needed Treed's help to burn down the winery, helping her to obtain the souls of 8 victims. Then, she still had to be extremely careful looking for other victims. If he's the only one present when I find him, I'll only kill him. In the end, Winry still chose to compromise slightly, but she added, however, if there's someone else, I'll show no mercy. Chapter 154, Captain. Chapter 154, Captain. After lunch, Chun Zhao bid farewell to Diana and Evely. After leaving the school, Gaia called. Chin, I heard from Morgary that you want to go against someone? That bastard. He said he'll keep it a secret. Morgary didn't sell you out. He called me to ask if I know anyone, so I called you. What, you want some extra income? I don't do that, Gaia said, but I know some veterans. I don't plan on starting a war. I don't plan on having my friends join a war either. But they're good at things other than holding guns too. Gaia, you should know that what I'm doing is more dangerous than a war. I have to face a billionaire. My friends need money. They won't mind the danger if they're paid enough. Then what can they help me with? Do you have time? We can talk. Sure. I'll go to the gym to find you. After arranging that, Chun Zhao hurried over to the gym. He hadn't come in a few days, but he'd told Gaia beforehand that he was quite busy. However, he was forced to make time today. Gaia was the coach for the army before. She was definitely more knowledgeable in this aspect than him. When Ola Miller saw Chun Zhao, she led him into Gaia's office. Miller, close the door and don't let anyone in, Gaia ordered. Okay. Ola knew that they must have to talk about something important. After she left, the office's mood turned heavy. You need to face Philip Quinn, right? Why are you asking me if you already heard from Morgary? I need you to reply personally. Yes. What do you plan on doing to him? 3 minutes. Give me 3 minutes of private time with him. What are you going to do to him in those 3 minutes? That's my own matter. I can introduce you to some people. They're experts in this field and can arrange everything for you, from the plan to action. What's the price? $100,000 for everything. Are they reliable? They're experts in this. They're definitely reliable. To what extent can they do it? If Morgary's men follow their orders, they'll ensure at least 80% chance for you to have 3 minutes alone with Philip. What if they fail? You still have to pay, Gaia answered. Hearing this, Chun Zhao had a headache. However, he had no other choice. His mind was muddled, and he had no clue where to start. If they fail, I only need to pay $50,000, Chun Zhao said, training his eyes on Gaia. Okay. Gaia nodded, accepting the request. Someone will contact you later. Just as Chun Zhao left the gym after their talk, his phone rang. It was a stranger. The voice on the other end of the call was raspy and deep. Hello, I'm Lloyd Word. You can call me Captain. Captain Lloyd Word? Is that your military title? Did Gaia introduce you? Yes, Gaia introduced me, but that's not my title. It's my nickname. So, Captain, you should know what I want, right? Let you be alone with Philip Quinn for 3 minutes, correct? Lloyd asked. Are you confident? Of course. I won't fool around with the lives of my men and I. I have a family. Should we meet? No need. Then how do we do it? Just wait for my alert. He sounded really professional, but Chun Zhao wasn't confident in a partner that he'd never met before. While walking down the street, someone bumped into him. The man fell to the ground. I'm sorry. Chun Zhao reached out to help him up. The man's hair was messy and had an unshaven face. He carried a few books and looked panicked. It's okay. The guy hurried away. Chun Zhao saw a metallic coin on the ground and picked it up. It was twice the size of regular coins. It was a strange material, too. It felt heavy, and he didn't know what kind of metal it was made out of. It also looked vintage. The carved design was strange, too. The top side was like some animal's head and the other side had a 6-point star. Hey, you dropped something. The guy was only a few feet away, but he pretended that he didn't hear. He kept walking forward without looking back. Chun Zhao jogged over and grabbed the thin guy. Hey, this is yours, right? The man looked at the coin in Chun Zhao's hands with hesitation. A beat later, he still took it. Thanks. With that, he turned and left. Chun Zhao looked at him in confusion. A moment later, he seemed to see a shadow following the man. Taken aback, he rubbed his eyes. There was nothing there. Was it a hallucination? But why would he have a hallucination like that? When he tried to find the man again, He'd already vanished from the street. Just then, he received Feilai's call. Chun, can you come to Angel Beach? What's wrong? I need your help. Can you come? Okay, I'm coming. Chun Zhao arrived at the Coastal Rescue Team's headquarters. Robio was here too. Hey Chun, how come you're here? Feilai called me over. I don't know what's wrong. She called you? Robio seemed not to know why. Chun Zhao was confused. He'd thought that there was someone in need of his help. It didn't seem to be the case now. Yeah, where is she? She's at the gym. I'll take you there. Robio took Chun Zhao to the gym. Feilai was running on the treadmill. Her tight athletic wear showed her sexy curves without hiding anything. Woof, woof. Walter had been lying beside Feilai. Seeing Chun Zhao, he ran over in excitement. Feilai, Chin's here, Robio called. Feilai came down from the treadmill. Taking a towel, she walked over to Chun Zhao and Robio. Robio, can I talk to him alone? Chun, I need to go patrol. Bye. Bye. Seeing how careful Feilai was, Chun Zhao felt a little suspicious. Feilai didn't look like she was in a hurry. Why did she call him here? Couldn't they talk about it at home? Chun, I think I'm in paranormal trouble. What? Paranormal trouble? Did you get attacked by something? Chapter 155, Supernatural Event? Chapter 155, Supernatural Event. Feilai shook her head. No. At noon, I was patrolling along the coastline after lunch. Suddenly, I saw someone struggling in the sea. I charged towards the drowning man, but when I reached there, that person had disappeared. Maybe that person sank into the sea and was brought away by the waves? Chun Zhao asked. Feilai shook her head again. I thought so at the start as well. I reported it to Robio and carried out search and rescue, but I found no one. We also did not receive any reports of missing people. Did you see wrongly? Actually, Chun Zhao was indeed an amateur spiritualist. He was unsure if Feilai was mistaken or really encountered a supernatural event. Among the coastlines in America that were open to tourists, over 1,000 people would go missing each year. Therefore, it was hard to say what really happened. Even Feilai probably did not know if there was actually a drowning man. Supernatural events were rare, after all, so Chun Zhao would prefer to believe that there was indeed a drowning man. Perhaps nobody was drowning in the first place. It might well just have been a tourist surfing in Deepwater Zone. I've thought about that too. Maybe the person was not drowning after all. However, during my break just now, I came across this. Feilai placed an old newspaper before Chun Zhao. What's this? Feilai pointed at a particular report on the newspaper. It's an accident on Angel Beach 5 years ago. The victim Kirk Ada's body has yet to be found. Chun Zhao saw the news, as well as a photo. When I was over 10 meters away from that person, I clearly saw the drowning man's face. He was Kirk Ada. Is there any other clearer evidence that it was a supernatural event? No. I'm not sure whether it's really supernatural. In any case, let Walter stay beside you. He's powerful enough to defeat normal evil spirits. Walter was already 50 kilograms now, and his body was formidably huge. Most members of Coastal Rescue Team did not think that Walter was the same hero they had in the past. Also, call Sienna here. She's more professional. Perhaps she can tell. Soon, Sienna arrived. Chun, what a surprise. Ask Feilai about it. She seems to have encountered a supernatural event. I'm not sure if it really is, and whether she's in danger, so we asked you to come here. Feilai, tell me what happened. Feilai told Sienna every detail. After thinking, Sienna said, it's very likely that Feilai's encountered a supernatural event, but I'm not fully certain whether the evil spirit will harm her. I don't think Feilai can see evil spirits. If she really saw him, it means that the spirit was targeting her in particular. Under most circumstances, normal people can't see evil spirits, and evil spirits also can't let themselves be seen, but that's not always the case. One possibility is that the evil spirit is extremely powerful. He can choose whoever he wants to be seen by. There's another possibility which is not controllable, not even by the spirits themselves. They appear in this world only because he has some obsessions. They can sometimes be seen by others due to various unexpected reasons. Which of the two did Phalai encounter? I can't tell either. Phalai has given us too few clues. Can you find the evil spirit and cleanse or exorcise him? Can't find him without enough clues. Given that this coastline is so long, he might be anywhere along the coastline or in the sea nearby, Sienna said. Chen Zhao could not help too. His understanding of supernatural events was even less than Sienna's. This was why Chen Zhao had always been firmly stating that he was an amateur spiritualist. Chen Zhao would not flaunt his superiority in a field that he was not even good in. Sienna was more professional, and Chen Zhao was happy to listen to her. Sienna, have you finished processing the white crystals that I gave you last night? I've already made some of them. Sienna opened her backpack and took out several bottles of liquids. Chen Zhao picked one up and asked, "What's this?" I've mixed the crystals you gave me with holy water to channel the sacredness in those crystals out. How do I use this? Pour it onto evil spirits? I've done my experiments. It's very effective against evil spirits, even better than magical phosphor. Moreover, one doesn't need magical power to use it. However, I don't think it's good against that old ghoul witch. What do we do then? I've asked someone to turn the remaining crystals into bullets. If we shoot her with the bullets, we can inflict severe damage to her soul. Sienna, do you still have any left? Give me one. Phalai was still somewhat scared because of her encounter that day. Although she had not been attacked, nobody knew that evil spirits plan. If Phalai was attacked in sea, she could not even escape. No. Ask Chen. He should still have some. Chen Zhao took out a walnut-sized angelic crystal. Use it to make a pendant and wear it. Beware that Walter doesn't like it. When you have it on, don't go near him. Indeed, Walter had long shied away from the angelic crystal. In the afternoon, Chen Zhao returned home with Phalai. On the other hand, Sienna left alone because she still had things to settle. By the time Chen Zhao and Phalai returned, David was already back. Chen, Phalai, why did you come back together? David, how's your investigation in town? I discovered that almost everyone here hates Winry Gargamel, and she also never communicates with the people in town. Therefore, when I asked about her, all the residents enthusiastically offered me various clues. David paused and then continued, that old witch has a very bad name in town. One time, a resident discovered that countless pets which were thought to be missing were buried in her backyard. She's even prosecuted in court for this. However, because she's already old and couldn't go to jail, she ended up only paying a fine. Because of this, everyone in town started to hate her. Also, since that incident, very few residents had pets. Has anyone been killed in the past? In the recent 10 years, there aren't any obvious accidental deaths, David replied. When do we act? Phalai asked. We? You just stay at home with Walter. So I'm not involved? Phalai said, somewhat bored. Why would you follow us? To watch the fun? Chapter 156, Action. Chapter 156, Action. Around 9 p.m., Sienna and Chris returned. Sienna came back with a huge pack. Seeing everyone in the living room, she tossed it onto the ground. I'm so tired. Chen, reimburse this. Chen Zhao accepted Sienna's bill and felt a headache coming. $8,900? What kind of bill is this? Processing fee for special bullets. Chen Zhao was in pain. He had to put in money to help people these days. The tens of thousands that he'd earned this past 3 months was emptied in 2 days. Sienna rummaged through the bag and took out some clips of bullets. David, try it with your gun. See if it works. I have a gun too. Phalai jogged to her room and came out with a gun. And Chris happened to have a gun too. Chen Zhao was speechless. You all have guns? Is it strange? My gun can use these clips too. Mine too. Chris aimed everywhere with her gun. Don't point it at me. You can kill someone. Chen Zhao hurriedly dodged the muzzle. These bullets were made from angelic crystals. They were mainly used against supernatural beings, but they could hurt humans too. Phalai, you and Chris partner up. Don't run around. Everyone looked at Chen Zhao. Are we going now? Wait, Qinzhao said. Just a bit more. Wait for what? The time isn't right. This should be the best timing, Sienna said in confusion. It's 4 hours until midnight. The old witch will become much stronger between 12 and 1 a.m. My helper isn't here yet, Qinzhao said. Helper? You have a helper? It's the thing that you can't see. Isn't he always beside you? No. He has his own activity time. They couldn't understand. They thought that the thing protecting Qinzhao was like his pet. He should be beside Qinzhao at any time. They couldn't comprehend his answer. Blackie hadn't come back yet. Qinzhao had to wait for him to act together. Blackie couldn't deal with Winry when she was in the ghoul state, but if he destroyed Winry's ghoul body, then he could attack the evil spirit. Thankfully, Blackie didn't make them wait too long. He came back after half an hour. Okay, my helper is here, Qinzhao said. We can set off. You mean that the thing is beside us now? Sienna looked around curiously. Unfortunately, she couldn't see or feel anything. Yes. Can you tell him to let us see? I'm afraid not. Qinzhao shook his head. Blackie still couldn't appear before people, but Qinzhao remembered that Ethan had seen him through the rearview mirror when they'd driven back from looking for Blackie. Qinzhao couldn't figure out why Ethan was able to see him. Blackie didn't understand why a regular guy saw him either. However, that accident only happened once. It never happened again when Blackie rode in Ethan's car. Beelzebub, Raymond, Walter, and Carrie were left at home to protect Chris and Phalai. They couldn't protect themselves and could be a burden to take around. It also wasn't safe for them to stay home alone, so the little demons had to stay with them. David and Sienna came to Winry's house. The building was like a witch's home from a movie, a sharp point in the night sky. Even though it was night, a crow was still on the roof, cawing hoarsely. David gulped. His grip tightened subconsciously around his gun. This place doesn't feel right. You and Chen are spiritualists, but the place you live doesn't have this feeling. Sienna didn't feel comfortable either. Stay sharp and follow our plan. I know. David followed behind Sienna as she knocked on the door. A moment later, the door opened. A stooped figure stood inside the door. The lights weren't on, so the surroundings weren't clear. However, a rotten smell flooded out of the house. Sienna stepped back in disgust. The figure took a step forward instead. Little girl, Winry said in her strange voice, you smell like magic. Sienna's eyebrow arched. She immediately threw a bottle at Winry. The liquid inside shimmered as if it was fluorescent. Winry grabbed the bottle easily. TSK, holy water? Little girl, who's your teacher? Don't you know that holy water is meaningless to a fellow witch like me? The bottle exploded, and the liquid splashed onto her right arm. Pain seized her. Winry's entire arm started wilting with a shocking speed. Ah, this isn't holy water. I will kill you all. David whipped his gun out and fired at Winry. The witch flashed and dodged the bullet with surprising speed. She slammed into David's chest. It felt like he'd been hit by a car, and he flew out. Sienna threw 2 more bottles of holy water. Winry didn't try to catch them again and retreated quickly instead. Just as she attacked Sienna, there was a gunshot. David had fired again from the ground. Ah! A bullet hit Winry's left thigh. She practically lost feeling in that leg. She jumped and disappeared within the deep and dark door. David, you all right? He stood up with difficulty. I'm okay. Did the old witch escape? I don't know. Let's go in and look. Winry's house had no electrical appliances or even light. Thankfully, David prepared a flashlight. But this was the old witch's lair, so they didn't dare have any mishaps. They nudged forward cautiously. Suddenly, Sienna seemed to kick something. David, move the light here. There's something under my feet. A body. It's a body. Under the flashlight, the two finally saw a dried corpse clearly. Crash. David bumped into a shelf and something shattered. What did you break? Blood. It's all blood. Oh God. David's feet were covered in blood. The house was instantly filled with a bloody scent. Chapter 157, Voice Recorder Pin. Chapter 157, Voice Recorder Pin. Knock, knock. When Treed Pimpton opened the front door, he saw Chen Zhao outside. Mr. Chun, what a surprise. Treed was rather startled that Chen Zhao actually visited him at this hour. Mr. Treed, I want to talk to you. About what? Treed looked at Chen Zhao, puzzled. I received a document on the winery's accounts, Chen Zhao said, smiling, as he took out a thumb drive. What do you want? Why don't we have a chat inside? Come in. Some gloom flashed across Treed's eyes. Chen Zhao took a look inside Treed's house, after which he sat on a chair right away. Mr. Treed, your home looks really simple. Where did you spend your money? Rumors outside claim that your winery had been in a bad state, but I know you're richer than what most people think. I don't understand. Depler gave me this thumb drive, Chen Zhao said, waving the thumb drive in his hand. Do you know Depler? To be precise, Depler left it with me as a deposit. He showed me the information inside, so I lent him 5,000. He said that if he couldn't return the money, the thumb drive would be mine. Also, he told me an interesting piece of information. You burned down your own winery. Ha! Treed laughed. Mr. Chun, he is but a small gangster. I don't care if he's telling the truth. Just say how much you want. 10 million. Mr. Chun, I thought that you're a good kid. Do you know what you're doing? You're blackmailing. Whatever you like to call it. Anyway, if you don't give me 10 million, I'll publicize the information in this thumb drive. By then, everyone will know that you have enough money to pay the victims' families, but you chose to hide your wealth. You'll face more than just the victims' relatives questioning. Your reputation will be ruined. Chen Zhao had a gentle smile on his face. Apart from that, I also suspect that you killed Depler. Crash. Suddenly, the window broke without warning and someone jumped into the house. Winry? Why would you? What? What's this? Chen Zhao stared at the unrecognizable face of Winry in horror. I need blood. Winry's face was filled with bloodlust. Although she looked like she was in a bad shape, she was still extremely dangerous. I don't want money anymore. I don't want money anymore. Mr. Chun, it's too late to regret now. Treed's face was occupied by a cruel smile. You can now go and accompany Depler. You really killed Depler? Mr. Treed, I promise I wouldn't tell anything to anyone. Please let me go. Please. I wouldn't trouble you anymore. It's too late. You know what? Depler only wanted 5,000 from me, and I killed him. And you wanted 10 million. You're much greedier than Depler. Treed looked at Winry. Winry, he's yours. Bam! Winry leaped towards Chen Zhao but was sent flying away by him with a single punch. Chen Zhao felt as if he had just punched an iron plate. You! Treed was clearly astonished. He knew well how strong Winry was. However, could she not even withstand a single punch from Chen Zhao? Mr. Treed, thank you for your confession. Chen Zhao smiled brightly. In fact, he was not holding a thumb drive, but rather a voice recorder pin. He had merely placed a thumb drive casing outside the voice recorder. What do you mean? You've already confessed that you did kill Depler. Aren't you here to blackmail me? Do you wish to be blackmailed instead? Chen Zhao smiled. Treed stared at Chen Zhao with a gloomy look. But are you sure that you can walk out of this place alive? If you think that old witch can stop me, you'll be very much disappointed. A fierce look blasted out from Winry's eyes. Although she was severely injured at the moment, she was still dangerous. Looks like you knew Winry's true identity long ago. A perverted old witch. Then how about mine? Yours? Chen Zhao was somewhat stunned. Just then, Treed slowly stood straight. His originally humpbacked body gradually straightened and became bigger. Bewilderment was written all over Chen Zhao's face. I'm delighted to see the fear on your face. You're not human? You're a demon? I am human, at least most of me is. Treed's body was still growing. Very soon, he reached 3 meters in height. Treed glanced at his sturdy limbs. Demonic bloodline only occupies a small part of me. Right. I still have something to do at home. I'm leaving first. Bye. At the instant Chen Zhao turned around, he felt an air current from behind. Suddenly, Chen Zhao took out an angelic crystal and threw it towards the incoming Treed. Treed obviously did not recognize the angelic crystal, so he did not dodge at all. When the angelic crystal landed on Treed's body, it blasted into a beam of light. Chun Zhao smelled a burnt smell. Ah! Half of Treed's body was enveloped in the white light. The light came and vanished quickly, and soon, only the half-dead Treed was left on the floor. His left shoulder was complete burnt, and his flesh and skin were all crumpled. Smoke was even coming off from his body. Winry watched as Treed collapsed onto the floor. Suddenly, she dashed beside him, grabbed him, and then charged out of the window. Although one of Winry's legs was almost totally disabled, she was still as fast as a wolf. She was carrying Treed, but her speed was not quite affected. You want to run now? No way. Chun Zhao immediately began to chase. Winry was indeed very fast, but Chun Zhao was not slow either. After all, Chun Zhao had consumed Superman potion before, and his body was way stronger than normal humans. As the two parties raced against each other, they slowly entered the depth of the mountain. Chun Zhao realized that Winry was running towards the gate of hell. What's she doing? Is she going to open the gate of hell? Chun Zhao did not think so. She had yet to collect enough sacrificial souls. However, Chun Zhao had to chase them. If they did not die here, they would recover and one day find him again for revenge. Even if they did not choose revenge, they could still complete the sacrifice and open the gate of hell, which would lead to a massacre. Chapter 158, Never-Ending Calls. Chapter 158, Never-Ending Calls. The two chased after one another in the forest. Winry was like a wild beast. They had similar speeds, but Winry was able to slip through the trees more easily, so the gap started widening. However, Chun Zhao knew where Winry was going, so he wasn't worried about losing her as long as the direction is right. After all, Winry and Treed would definitely stop at the gate of hell. Winry obviously wanted to lose Chun Zhao, but it wasn't possible. Her state was getting worse. She was carrying someone, and her limbs were heavily injured. Her energy went down faster than Chun Zhao. Just then, Chun Zhao's phone rang. Huff, huff. Chun, what are you doing? You're out of breath. It was Diana. I'm doing a night jog. Chun Zhao was exhausted. He was very fit, but this journey wasn't short at all and he was sprinting. Are you holding a girl right now? No. Should I take a picture for you? Yeah, take a picture. Chun Zhao was speechless. He could only take a selfie so Diana would believe him. Chun, it's so dark. Where are you running? A mountain. Oh, I know. You're doing some special training. That's why you're so awesome. Okay, I'll talk to you after I'm done running. Fine, bye. Oh, actually, I know I'm not your girlfriend, so I won't mind even if you get in bed with someone else. Never believe any woman who says this. Even though Chun Zhao and Jerlin had promised to be fuck buddies, he still couldn't talk about other girls in front of her. This was basic respect for his female companion. If they couldn't satisfy each other romantically, it was the least to not affect the other's feelings. Hanging up on Diana, Chun Zhao's second call came. It was Captain Lloyd. Hearing Chun Zhao's panting, he asked, Mr. Chun, am I disturbing you? No, I'm running. Get to the point. I learned that Philip Quinn will go out in the afternoon the day after tomorrow. I also found the route he'll take. You're okay, right? Huff, no problem. Okay, then it's set. Have a good night. Hanging up, Chun Zhao muttered, fuck. It was the middle of the night and he was chasing a 100-something-year-old witch. How great could it be? He wondered if Chun Zhao's friends all agreed to call him tonight. As soon as he hung up, another call came in. It was Dell. Don't tell me that you're messing with your dick again, Chun Zhao sighed. If you're calling me because of your dick, then I'm gonna go there and cut it off. Chun, why are you so angry? I wanted to thank you for all your help these days, so I'm holding a party next week. I want to invite you. Tell me next week. Are you having sex? You're panting so loudly. Chun Zhao didn't want to waste time with Dell, so he hung up. But then another call came. Without even looking, Chun Zhao yelled, I'm not having sex. I'm running, okay? Chun, it's me, right? Huff, huff, right. Why are you calling me? Sorry, I'm not yelling at you. Are you busy? I'm running, Chun Zhao reiterated. Whoosh, Chun Zhao moved a pile of grass aside and lunged forward. Okay, Chun, I heard from Ethan that you want to punish Philip Quinn. Ethan told you? Caprice? Right? I promise I'll make that asshole regret being born. I swear. Can I help you? No, just make sure Ethan doesn't do anything stupid before I carry out my plan. I'm part of this too. You can't exclude Ethan and I, right? Can you make atomic bombs? I'm a medical student. Okay, so just wait for good news, all right? Fine. Chun, don't work too hard. Take care of yourself. Wright obviously didn't believe Chun Zhao's explanation. I'm seriously running at night. Whatever you do is fine. Just be careful. Goodbye. Chun Zhao felt that half of his energy was wasted on bullshitting with his friends. He felt tired physically and mentally. If this continued, his heart would explode. But the calls came like a torrent. Another one came. Chun, are you? Leonardo, if you ask me if I'm having sex, I'm blocking you. I was going to remind you that my birthday party is in 2 days. You can come, right? Yes, bye. Chun, take care of your health. Chun Zhao was about to go crazy, but then he realized that Lloyd's plan was taking place in 2 days too. However, Lloyd had planned for the afternoon. If everything went smoothly, he could make it to Leonardo's birthday party and even buy a gift beforehand. He thought that there would be another call. He waited for a few minutes, but it was silent. Just as he thought there would be no more calls and he put his phone away, another one came. Chun, are you? It was Rutherford's voice. Fuck, I'm not having sex. I'm running, okay? Talk or hang up. My first race after recovering is night after tomorrow at the LA Memorial Coliseum. Can you come? He sounded hopeful. Chun Zhao was the only person who valued him and was willing to give him a chance and hope. He really wished that Chun Zhao could come and watch his first race after recovery. What time? 8. Can you give me some more tickets? Of course. How many? Maybe 7. No problem. Okay. And I really am running. I know. Bye. What the fuck do you know? Chun Zhao swore inside. The phone rang again. I'm running, fuck. I'm not having sex. Chun, where are you? We're at Treed's house. There are signs of struggle, but no one's there. Chapter 159. Internal Conflict. Chapter 159. Internal Conflict. I'm chasing the old witch and Treed. They're running deep into the mountain. Where are you? We're coming to help you. Even if you're here, you can't catch them, so don't come here and make the situation messy, eh? Chun Zhao said. Chin, we found a few corpses in the old witch's house. They were killed in the last day or two, and they're all residents in this town. She might have possibly already collected enough sacrificial souls. Chun Zhao was rather surprised. He did not expect the old witch and Treed, who had been acting very carefully, to suddenly kill a few people in the past few days. They had changed their style completely and started killing random people. This being the case, there was even more reason for Chun Zhao to not let the two off. Nobody knew what they would do after successfully summoning the demon. Winry was an old witch and she had already turned herself into a monster. Treed was a human-demon hybrid, although his demonic bloodline was very weak. It was obvious that the two of them would do nothing good. Finally, Chun Zhao managed to catch up with Winry and Treed. They had already reached the big pit, which was supposed to be the gate of hell. The two parties entered a stalemate. Winry, why did you come here? We're still short of 3 sacrificial souls. Treed was in an even worse state than Winry. The angelic crystal caused greater damage to him than to Winry because he had just activated his demonic bloodline and turned temporarily into a demon. However, he was a very inferior one. In fact, his only change was his physical form. He was not a subordinate demon and also had no abilities of his own. Thus, he could not at all mitigate the damage caused by the angelic crystal. On the other hand, while Winry looked like she had lost one arm and one leg, she had received mostly physical damage. Chun Zhao and Sienna had thought that shooting Winry with angelic crystal bullets would cause severe damage. However, this was not the case. Winry's soul was almost unharmed. Huh. In the last 2 days, I killed another 2 people whom I didn't like. Winry gave a hoarse laughter. Hearing her voice, Chun Zhao felt really uncomfortable. Treed looked at Chun Zhao. So, kill him, and we can complete the sacrificial ritual. Winry also glanced at Chun Zhao. He's a big trouble now. In comparison, you're much weaker. Wait, what are you doing? Treed's face paled in horror. He realized what Winry was going to do. Winry was indeed a psychologically abnormal old witch. Treed knew well how wicked she was. She had brought him here not to save him or to share their gains, but as the last sacrifice for the ritual. Oh, you know what I'm doing. As Winry gave out a series of strange laughter, she took out 2 bottles and smashed them on the edge of the pit. The 2 sacrificial souls escaped from the bottles. They wanted to leave, but a mysterious force dragged them into the pit. Save me, the 2 souls called, but they could not resist the attraction and were still sucked into the pit. In the end, they disappeared into the bottomless darkness. The pit seemed to have turned deeper and darker. The vines on the inner side of the pit started to climb up at a noticeable speed. Winry looked at Chun Zhao. Hey, aren't you coming to stop me? If you don't do it now, you wouldn't have the chance anymore. Although Winry sounded relaxed, she did not dare to underestimate Chun Zhao at all. Chun Zhao had something that could inflict severe harm to her. Even now, she had no idea what it was. Treed had only been hit by such a small white crystal, and he was already like this at the moment. Chun Zhao stared at Winry and Treed, his eyes sparkling. Suddenly, he smiled. Since you want to summon a demon so badly, I'll let you. Please. Chun Zhao's words alerted Winry instead. She did not believe that Chun Zhao would allow her to complete the ritual so easily. He must be planning to attack me when the ritual begins. In this case, I wouldn't be able to fight back for a while, which puts me in a really dangerous situation. Therefore, Winry did not even dare to start the ritual before killing Chun Zhao. Winry glanced at Treed, who was on the ground, and then threw a purple potion before him. Treed, drink this. What's this? Do you think I'll listen to you again? Treed stared at Winry in enmity. This can help you to recover, Winry said. Do you think I'll believe you? I made this blood potion with living humans' blood. It can not only heal you, but also grant you immense power for a short period of time. Chun Zhao frowned. Blood potion? He was not unfamiliar with blood potions, of course, because they were recorded in the demonic medical book. However, Chun Zhao remembered that many components needed to make a blood potion could only be found in hell. Moreover, blood potions were supposed to greatly enhance one's demonic bloodline. Even Chun Zhao did not have enough materials to craft one at the moment. Winry had to spend so much time and effort to merely summon a demon. How could she obtain so many materials from hell? One possibility was that while the 2 kinds of blood potions had the same name, they had very different functions. Or perhaps Winry had used a few alternative materials from the human world to make the blood potion. As for how effective the potion really was, only she would know. However, judging from her look, she was certainly not trying to help Treed. Treed, we can only live if we kill him together, Winry said. Only if we kill him, you will no longer need to be the sacrifice, and our plan can also be successfully completed. However, if we don't kill him, our plan will fail, and more importantly, you can't ever return to your normal life. Treed's eyes glittered in thought. In the end, he still grabbed the blood potion, broke the bottle, and poured the purple liquid into his mouth. Very soon, he felt a power being released in his body. Puff, puff. Treed's burnt skin began to recover. However, he did not feel better. In fact, he felt even worse instead. Why do I feel like? The blood potion can temporarily boost your strength, but it also has a small side effect. What? From now on, you'll become very bloodthirsty, just like a vampire. You dare to fool me. Treed stared furiously at Winry. Internal conflict is no good for either of us. It'll only benefit the Asian. Stop him for 10 minutes, just 10. Chapter 160. Come on, let's all summon demons. Chapter 160. Come on, Let's all summon demons. Treed Pimpton's breathing turned heavier. He stared at Winry with hatred, but he still kept a level head. Turning to Qin Zhao, the hatred remained in his eyes. It's you. It's all because of you that I'm in this state. Mr. Pimpton, that's not really fair. It's your own karma. How can it be my fault? If you didn't get in my way, all this wouldn't have happened. You destroyed everything. You should die. Yelling about dying is a bit much. We're all civilized people. Why can't we just sit down and have a nice chat? Treed, why are you still wasting time with him? Winry urged impatiently. Kill him. Hurry up, it's almost midnight. Treed thirsted for blood right now. He ground his teeth, making cracking sounds. Qin Zhao took a few steps back. With Treed's current state, he really couldn't fight him. Qin Zhao was stronger than the average man, but he couldn't go up against beasts. If he had to go against a beast, it could only be a beast from hell. A demonic ritual implement appeared in Qin Zhao's hands. Bloody Hunter, get over here. A puff of red smoke shot out of the ritual implement. Treed was still scared of Qin Zhao. Seeing this, he didn't dare to charge brashly. He took a small step back, looking at Qin Zhao cautiously. A while later, a huge figure arose in the red smoke. The summoning of the Bloody Hunter succeeded. Mixed bastard. The Bloody Hunter looked at Treed in disdain. Then he turned to look at Qin Zhao and immediately lowered himself. Respected living lord, I am happy to work for you again. What is this? A demon? You summoned a demon? Treed had demonic blood in him. He could obviously sense the pure demon lineage in the Bloody Hunter. The Bloody Hunter stood up straight. He was a head taller than Treed, covered in hair, and had horns on his head. Winry was utterly shocked too. This man could summon demons? And summon a pure demon? How was this possible? How could he do this? She and Treed had tried so hard but still hadn't succeeded. And yet this Asian could summon a demon so easily? Living Lord, are they your enemies? The Bloody Hunter licked his lips and opened his mouth slightly, revealing the fangs. Yes, they want to kill me. I'm so scared. You won't mind me killing them, right? As you wish. The Bloody Hunter was really happy. Since Qin Zhao had summoned him to the living world, he definitely wouldn't scrimp on the pay. Bastard, come here. I'll show you what a true demon is. Actually, the Bloody Hunter was a low-level demon too. He was also mixed. However, the Bloody Hunter was a mix of two demons. This was different from Treed, who was half human, half demon. Treed was enraged. It wasn't the Bloody Hunter's first time calling him a bastard. Roaring, he pounced toward the demon. The Bloody Hunter also screamed and tangled with Treed. The two fought in the most primitive way, with gnashing claws and teeth. It was difficult to see the winner. Seeing that the Bloody Hunter didn't have an absolute advantage, Qin Zhao asked, Hey, Bloody Hunter, can you really do it? Should I call some more helpers? The Bloody Hunter didn't have the time to reply to Qin Zhao now. With his pride, he wouldn't be willing to get reinforcements either. If he couldn't even beat a mixed demon with very little demon blood, he wouldn't have the heart to go back to hell. Treed was definitely weaker than him. He could feel it. It seemed as if they were neck to neck, but the Bloody Hunter actually had the upper hand. His teeth and claws were sharper, and he was stronger and faster. Winry finally completed the last step of the sacrifice ritual. Treed, she yelled, jump into the gates of hell with me. Hurry. Treed used all his might to push the Bloody Hunter away. Eyes turning red, he screamed as if trying his hardest to go against Winry's order. However, he couldn't control his body. He walked toward the ditch involuntarily. His consciousness had finally collapsed. Winry's power overtook his mind. Treed jumped into the gates of hell. Black light instantly shot out of the gates, forming a dark cloud in the air. Various large tentacles reached down. Excitement was written all over Winry's face. Success. I succeeded. Mighty Sleeper, you've finally come to the human world. Winry opened her arms wide happily. You're dead, Asian. You thought you could change things by summoning a low-level demon? You bastard. You cannot be compared to the Mighty Sleeper, Lord Besta. One had to admit that the scene was quite shocking. It could be seen even from miles away. David and Sienna, who were in the wilderness, saw it too. Sienna, look, what is that? That old witch succeeded. She summoned a demon. She really summoned it. Sienna's expression changed drastically. Is Chun in danger? David panicked. Maybe he has a solution. Sienna looked grave. Her voice was filled with uncertainty. Even from so far away, she could sense the demonic aura clearly. Are you sure? Bullshit, Sienna muttered in annoyance. How can I be sure? I've never seen it before. Then what do we do? What do you think? Let's go and help him. Maybe we can defeat the demon if we work together. Sienna decided to hurry over. She was still hopeful, since Chen Zhao's abilities were immeasurable. She also had a fatal weapon in her hands. If they worked together, they might be able to win. Check how many bullets you have left. 10. Bring the 2 bottles of mixed holy water too. Smash it into the demon when needed. Chapter 161. Obitos' Arrival. Chapter 161. Obitos' Arrival. Sleeper Besta finally emerged from the ring of clouds. His lower body was an octopus and his upper body was a human. Very unfortunately, Chun Zhao knew this octopus monster. Of course, they had merely encountered each other once before and were not friends. With his tentacles, Besta supported himself above the gate of hell. 2 of his tentacles were crossed before his chest, just like 2 hands as he looked at everyone from above. Winry was kneeling on the ground, looking as humble as a servant. The great Sleeper Besta, your dedicated servant, Winry Gargamel, is ready to serve you. The human world? I'm actually really in the human world. Hello, octopus monster, we meet again, Chen Zhao greeted. Besta lowered his head and carefully inspected Chen Zhao. To be honest, it was very difficult for a demon to recognize a human's face, just like how humans could not distinguish between the faces of the same kind of animal. The same thing happened to Besta. However, based on just smell, he indeed found Chen Zhao rather familiar. Winry's face was filled with doubt. Why would this Asian know Besta? Was it not the first time that Sleeper Besta was summoned from hell? Suddenly, Besta recalled who the person before him was. Human, it's you. How dare you appear in front of me again? You caused a huge loss to me. I'm going to kill you. Shit, I knew I would still have to fight, Chen Zhao cursed. Besta was not an inferior demon. Bloody Hunter was certainly no match for him. Even if Chen Zhao were to release his entire demon army, he would suffer a heavy loss. Besta was clearly a subordinate demon, although Chen Zhao had no idea who his king was. Chen Zhao twitched his lips and very unwillingly took out a demonic ritual implement. This time, a cloud of white gas was released from the ritual implement, and the amount of gas was far more than when Chen Zhao had summoned Bloody Hunter. The white gas enveloped the region around him and formed a cloud of fog. In the fog, a figure seemed to be floating slowly. Suddenly, a face appeared from the fog. Living Lord, did you summon me here? Jessica, can you defeat this octopus monster? The face disappeared. In the next instant, it appeared again before the octopus and started to float around it. Subordinate Acre Besta, do you know who I am? Besta stared suspiciously at the vague face in the fog. Suddenly, his expression changed and he screamed in horror. Jessica? Your Lord Jessica? Ah! Jessica released a sharp howl. Chen Zhao, Winry, and Bloody Hunter all covered their ears in pain. Directly before the attack, Besta's entire body started spurting blood, as if his whole body had been cut by a knife. You know who I am, and yet you dare to face me with such an attitude? The fog around them began to converge. Gradually, Jessica's body formed. Winry's hair stood up in fear. She did not know who Jessica was, but it was evident that Besta was extremely scared of her. But isn't Besta the king of sleep? Shouldn't he be one of the strongest in hell? Why does he look so weak and petty? Is this ordinary-looking woman also a demon king? One who's even more powerful than Besta? Gravely injured by Jessica's scream, Besta attempted to flee into the gate of hell. Why leave when you're already here? Jessica shook her body and countless clones of herself appeared. charging into the gate of hell one after another. In the depths of the pit, screams could be constantly heard. Winry could feel her limbs turn cold. Coming from the pit were not just Jessica's sharp screams, but also Besta's screams of horror. Jessica's real body bowed at Chan Zhao. Living Lord, since I'm in the human world, I need to complete the task given by Lord Beelzebub. Yup. Chan Zhao had not summoned Jessica until just now precisely because he did not really want to accept Obitos. Obitos was truly big trouble. However, since Jessica was already here, Chan Zhao had no choice but to accept the task of taking care of Obitos. Jessica took out a soul-filled bottle and threw it into the gate of hell as she chanted an obscure incantation. As she called, something seemed to be coming out from the deep pit. Finally, a fire pillar erupted from the pit and reached the sky, forming a cluster of red, fiery clouds. It looked exactly like when Besta had been summoned earlier, except for the color of the clouds. Suddenly, an enormous monster many times larger than Besta charged out from the burning clouds. It was Obitos, and in his mouth was none other than Besta. The poor Besta was already half killed by Jessica immediately after he came to the human world. Then, an even fiercer monster appeared and took him as food. Obitos' gigantic body landed on the ground. Winry was already shocked out of her wits. Fire Dragon. The legendary Fire Dragon. Obitos' near-perfect body, powerful wings, and surging fire elements all indicated his identity. He was a Fire King from Hell. Obitos lowered his head and looked at Winry. Then, he opened his mouth and devoured her too. However, before he could swallow Winry, he spit her out. What a terrible taste. Living Lord, please complete the contract with Lord Obitos, Jessica said. What do I do? Nothing. Let me help you. Jessica approached Chan Zhao and made a cut on his palm, after which he lifted his hand up. Lord Obitos, please lower your head. Obitos looked at Chan Zhao and then put his head low. Jessica held Chan Zhao's hand and placed it on Obitos' forehead. A complicated magic marking appeared on Obitos' forehead as his body shrunk in size. Very soon, he became a giant lizard, one with wings and dark red skin. Looking at Obitos, Chan Zhao was somewhat disappointed. In the end, he still could not complete his dream of becoming a dragon knight. Anyhow, this world could certainly not tolerate a real terrifying fire dragon. Living Lord, is there anything else I can do for you? Bring her with you. Chan Zhao pointed at Winry. At the moment, Winry was lying on the ground with one last breath. Being bitten by a fire dragon was surely nothing comfortable. Both her body and soul had been burnt by Obitos' scorching flames. She had basically lost all abilities to fight. Of course, even if she could still fight, there was no way she was going to defeat Jessica. After all, Jessica was not a mere inferior demon. She was a superior demon, a truly superior banshee. Chapter 162. Obitos Cause Trouble. Chapter 162. Obitos Cause Trouble. Jessica tossed Winry, who was pleading desperately, into the gates of hell. The bloody hunter also returned after getting his reward. Everything was finally over. Chan Zhao couldn't stop Winry and Treed's bloodshed, but at least everything was over. No one would ever be stupid enough to summon a demon to kill people in town. Obitos suddenly grew furious. He looked into the darkness. Something seemed to be approaching. Achan, David and Sienna had arrived. Both were completely exhausted. Chin, where's the old witch and Treed? Where did they go? It's over. I got it. How did you know I'm here? There was such a big commotion. Did the old witch finish the sacrifice and summon the demon? What's this? David got close to Obitos. Obitos spat fire in David's face. Thankfully, Obitos was much weaker now, and his dragon breath wasn't that destructive. Otherwise, David would be scorched by now. Wow, this lizard can spit fire. Sienna was suspicious. This clearly wasn't an average lizard because it could spit fire and had wings. Fire dragon? A child? Chan Zhao answered. His name is Obitos. Obitos, she's Sienna and he's David. They're my friends. Don't hurt people without reason like that anymore. Got it? Obitos spread his wings. He circled above Chen Zhao and landed on his shoulder. This landing almost sent Chen Zhao to the ground. Even though Obitos was a few thousand times smaller than before, he was still a huge lizard and around 100 pounds. Put your wings away, Chen Zhao said. I know you can do it. Roar. As expected, only Chen Zhao could understand what he was saying, just like with Beelzebub and the others. Obitos shook his back and the wings went away. Chun, you took care of the demon by yourself? Is everything over? Is that really a fire dragon? I'm tired. I'm going to rest. Chen Zhao truly was tired. He'd worked hard the entire night and could finally rest. His legs turned to jelly and he sat onto the ground, unable to move. He hadn't done much fighting other than running, but he felt physical and mental fatigue. Chun, what's wrong? David and Sienna hurried over to help him up. Nothing, just tired. David and Sienna automatically imagined that Chen Zhao had gone through a horrible fight. David carried Chen Zhao down the mountain. When they returned home in Feilai and Chris saw Chen Zhao being carried, they thought something bad had happened. They immediately came over in concern. Chen's okay. He's just tired. You don't know how intense the battle today was. Chun was facing a true demon. You know what the demon was like? David described the battle colorfully as if he'd seen it with his own eyes. Chun, how do you feel now? Sienna fed him a bottle of potion with unknown ingredients. Much better. Chen Zhao moved his arms around. Sienna's potion was effective, but it wasn't very obvious. He'd recovered some of his strength, but his mental state was still bad. I need to sleep. Chen Zhao lost his balance and fell back onto the sofa. I'll help you into your room. Oh, David, listen to this recording pin. Delete the unnecessary information and give it to Bant. Okay. Chen Zhao hadn't slept so well in a long time. He slept from midnight to the afternoon of the next day, more than 10 hours. Feilai and the others knew that Chen Zhao was exhausted, so they didn't disturb him. Chen Zhao stretched and got out of bed to wash up. Knocking came from outside, so he went to open the door with a toothbrush in his mouth. It was Bant and Kin outside. Chen Zhao pointed at his mouth and then ran into the bathroom to clean his mouth. Going back to the door, he hugged Kin first. Kin, congrats on your release. Chun, thank you. You saved Kin twice. Bant looked at him with gratitude. Kin had a similar expression. If it wasn't for Chun, he had no clue what situation he'd be in. The first time went without saying. Chun was his lifesaver. The second time, he'd helped exonerate Kin. We're friends. This isn't my own work either. David actually found out that it was related to Treed, and I used this chance to force him to reveal the truth. I understand. I just haven't seen David yet. Please tell him I said thanks. Tell Mary to give us a large pizza next time. That's the best way to thank us. Ada, look what I got. Chen Zhao was eating breakfast Feilai made for him when Obitos came in with a dead poodle in his mouth. What the? Did it piss you off? Chen Zhao hurriedly took the poodle to see if there was any hope left. Unfortunately, the poodle was completely dead. Chen Zhao buried his face in his hands. He saw Beelzebub, Raymond, and Carrie, the three assholes, peering from under the sofa. It went without guessing that these three had encouraged the young Obitos to do this. Don't hurt any pets in the future. If you want to eat anything. Ding dong. The bell rang, along with a girl's voice. Excuse me, anyone home? Chen Zhao went to the door and saw a short girl. She seemed to be around 14 or 15, but she'd gone through puberty well. Who are you looking for? I'm Lily's. And then she screamed. Chen Zhao's face twitched. He looked at the dead poodle before Obitos. This was a problem. You're murderer. You killed Lily. Miss, I'm very sorry about your pet. My pet slipped outside when I was sleeping. How much money do you want? I can pay you. I don't want money, the girl yelled. You murderer. I'm gonna call the cops. I want you to pay for what you did. Miss, how can I help you? Melson and Leonardo walked over. When the girl saw Leonardo's uniform, she grabbed him and said, Officer, this guy killed my pet. He's a murderer. Leonardo and Melson were both doubtful. They knew how much Chen Zhao liked little animals. How could he kill someone else's pet? Chapter 163, Cheap Land. Chapter 163, Cheap Land. Obitos, come and apologize. Everyone saw a fireball charge out from the room. They quickly jumped back in shock. With his mouth wide open, Obitos looked really frightening. A normal person would not dare to raise a giant lizard that was 2 meters long and over 50 kilograms heavy at home, let alone come too close to one. Of course, many people in America raise lizards. What breed is this? Why is its skin red? Leonardo asked curiously. It's called Obitos. It's new here, so I haven't had the chance to discipline it. It just went hunting alone and then killed this lady's pet dog. I'm really sorry. Miss, if you need compensation, we can discuss about it. Melson and Leonardo finally understood what was going on, but the girl still refused to give up. Since you have such a dangerous pet, you need to discipline it properly. What if it bit a human or a child instead? Yes, I'll be careful. I promise it won't happen again. Qin Zhao knew that he had to apologize since he was in the wrong. Obitos, apologize. Obitos lifted his head and looked at Qin Zhao. Then, he waved his tail and nodded at the girl. The girl stared at Obitos with some envy on her face. Then compensate me with this lizard? Qin Zhao rolled his eyes. The girl was actually not embarrassed to ask. I don't think so. I can give you money as compensation, but not my pet. Such a civil conflict would normally not turn into a criminal case, so the police would not interfere. Of course, one of the parties may choose to appeal to court, but even so the judge would at most charge the wrong party with a fine. Qin Zhao was in the wrong because he did not look after his pet properly. Therefore, there would also be some light punishment for him, such as 10 or 20 hours of community service. Lend it to me for a month? Qin Zhao still shook his head. No. Then can I come and play with it? Chen, I hereby sentence you. In the next month, this beautiful lady must be able to play with your pet for an hour. Of course, it'll only be when you're around, Melson said with a serious voice. Thank you, Mr. Police. The girl hugged Melson's waist enthusiastically. Melson was very tall, so she could only reach his waist. Can I start playing with it now? Fine. Obitos, you need to now pay for your mistake. And you three also come out. Beelzebub, Carrie, and Raymond ran out. They stood before Qin Zhao in a row, all looking like they had just done something wrong. Wow, you've got so many pets. Why can't you just give me one? So stingy. Qin Zhao gave a bitter smile. Then, he looked at Melson and Leonardo. Why are you here? Qin, we've heard the recording of the conversation between you and Treat Pintom. We want to know where Treat is now. I don't know. Didn't you catch him there? Come on. He had a gun. I didn't dare to chase him. Qin Zhao had already thought of an excuse. Hope that he's still alive. Clearly, Melson was suspicious about whether Qin Zhao had secretly killed Treat. Isn't it better for him to be dead? Qin Zhao said, unconcerned. He's hidden his wealth, but the families of the victims of that winery fire have yet to receive their compensation. Do you still think it's good? Qin Zhao was stunned. He had indeed never thought about this. Nevertheless, it was already too late. Treat was already dead, and Qin Zhao was pretty sure that he was somewhere in hell at the moment. Of course, Qin Zhao had no idea where his soul was, or whether it was even complete. I can only hope that you can arrest him ASAP. Qin, can you guarantee that he's still alive? You suspect that I killed him? Or perhaps I pocketed his properties? That's not what I meant. I can promise you that I didn't kill him or detain him to ask him about his wealth. I didn't get myself involved for his money in the first place. Otherwise, I won't have given the recording to the police. I only want to help my friend to clear his name. All right, Qin. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Melson apologized. Apology accepted. If you have any clues, can you tell us, please? Yes, I will. Then we'll leave now. See you. Melson turned around and left, while Leonardo hugged Qin Zhao. Qin, this is too much. Why didn't you call me for the operation? Am I not your friend? Leonardo had already found out that Qin Zhao, David, Sienna, and the rest were all involved, but he was excluded. Surely, he was somewhat disappointed. He felt that since David was a police and was willing to cooperate with Chen Zhao to catch the culprit, he could too. Moreover, he was in charge of this case in the first place. If Chen Zhao had found him instead, he could have provided more clues. Leonardo, I've indeed considered calling you, but I didn't know your position. I apologize for my doubt. Fine, I forgive you, but if something similar happens next time, remember to call me. Of course. And don't forget about my party tomorrow. I won't. Just then, a person walked into the courtyard. He scanned the few people in the yard, and his eyes eventually locked onto Chen Zhao. Hi, are you Chen? You are. Do you not know me? I'm the mayor of Mountain Town. Name's Dion. Dion Sloat was bald and looked like he was just past 50 years old. To be honest, he looked more like a fighter than a mayor. He had a bad, extremely bad reputation in town. There were rumors which claimed that he had accepted bribes for himself and sold common properties of the town to private enterprises, such as the chemical factory. Mr. Dion, how can I help you? I heard that you want to purchase the 5 hectares of land near Mirror Lake. Is that true? That was indeed my plan, but I encountered a problem with my cash flow recently. I've already given up the thought. I can sell it to you at a lower price, Dion said. Lower price? How low? Chen Zhao was interested in the deal. Chen, you should know that something happened in town recently. A few families are in trouble because of that. It's probably the last thing I can do for them as the mayor, so I can't lower the price too much. 400,000 is my bottom line. Chen Zhao had no idea if Dion was acting or being sincere, but the fact that he had such a thought should only be good for the victims' families. Nonetheless, Chen Zhao really did not have so much money at the moment. Can I have a few days to think over it? Chapter 164, Azina. Chapter 164, Azina. Chen Zhao only worried about money when he'd first arrived in America. At that time, he didn't have any source of income. Holding $10,000 wasn't able to give him a sense of security. Later, Chen Zhao became an illegal doctor and no longer had to worry about money. He only had headaches because he couldn't make enough. Now, he was worried about money again. He really wanted to buy that land, and he could do something good too. It was 2 birds with 1 stone. However, he couldn't produce all that money. He was renting his home now. After all, as a Chinese man, he had a longing for land. He always thought that he would only feel secure if he had his own house. No matter what happened, if the house was still there, everything would still be there. Should he bring all his demons to do something big? No, this wasn't realistic. He could only entertain it in his mind. Chen Zhao sat in the swing in his yard. Feilai made the swing. Watching the girl play with Obitos, Beelzebub, and the others, he called out, Hey, we know each other now, but I don't know your name yet. Azina, Lincoln, where are your parents? Why are you asking? Azina suddenly grew cautious. Chen Zhao wondered if he'd asked a wrong question. Fine, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Who said I don't want to tell you? Then tell me. Why should I? She asked matter-of-factly. Fine, pretend I didn't say anything. It's getting dark. You should go home. So what if it's dark? There's no one home anyway. Did her parents leave her here alone while they worked? But according to American laws, underage kids couldn't live alone. My dad is busy with work every day. I only said 2 sentences to him this month. What 2 sentences? Good morning, good night. What about your mom? She divorced my dad. She comes to see me once a month, but she already has her own family. Azina had matured early. Chen Zhao could no longer hear childish innocence from her words. Is that your girlfriend? Azina suddenly pointed at Feilai, who'd just come back. No, we're roommates. You don't like her? Or she doesn't like you? This has nothing to do with liking each other. If a woman is willing to live with a man not related to her, then it means that she has feelings for him. Chen Zhao rolled his eyes. Who taught you that? They have it in the books. Chen Zhao didn't think that Feilai came to live with him because she had feelings for him. She'd come to live with Walter, not him. Hey, beauty. Feilai came into the backyard. What's your name? Azina, Lincoln. I live around the corner. Azina looked at Walter. That's a big dog. Does it bite? He's really nice. His name is Walter. Walter was friendly with everyone. He went over to lick Azina's face. Chun, how do you train all your pets? Azina asked curiously as she petted Walter's neck. Why are they all so smart? I feel like they can understand what I'm saying. Phalai was used to all this. These weren't regular pets, especially the huge red lizard on the ground. According to Sienna and David, this was a real fire dragon. You two play. I'll go make dinner. Azina, do you want to stay for dinner? Can I? She looked at Chun Zhao with uncertainty. Of course. I'm honored to invite you to dinner with us. Azina was having fun. Walter and Obitos both let her ride them. Her past pets could never do this. They were also really obedient and would react to whatever she said. Just then, Bant and Mary came over from across the street with a huge pizza. Azina, you know Chin? Mary was surprised to find Azina here. Hi, Bant, Mary. Azina greeted them but seemed a bit cold. Chun Zhao welcomed them in and hugged them both. Chin, I heard from Kin what happened when I was gone. I don't know how to thank you. Chun Zhao accepted the pizza. This is the best thanks for me. Oh, you should know Azina's father, right? If possible, can you tell him that she's playing in my house and come here to pick her up? You don't know who her father is? Should I know? Her father is Dion Sloat. What? Then shouldn't her last name be Sloat? Her full name is Azina Lincoln Sloat, Bant said. Lincoln is her mother's last name. Does she have a bad relationship with her father? Chun Zhao asked curiously. Because of her father, the kids bully her in school and don't want to be her friend. That's why she doesn't have many friends. Chun Zhao realized that the rumors in town had affected Azina. This was why she was so withdrawn. But it's good that she can play here. I was afraid that she'll really have a traumatic childhood because of this. Chun Zhao glanced at Azina. She was riding Walter, yelling excitedly, Walter, go, go, catch up to Obitos. Chun Zhao felt powerless too. He wasn't part of the neighborhood committee. He couldn't help with their family problems or neighborly relationships. He just felt that problems between adults shouldn't affect the kids. Kids might not understand this, though. Adult problems often affected them. We should go. Okay, bye. Phalai happened to announce that dinner was ready. Walter shot into the house with Azina on his back. Walter was really big now, but he was still growing. He had a shocking appetite. Chun Zhao had no clue how much he could grow. He felt that if Walter continued growing like this, he could try for some world record. Of course, this could only happen if he didn't somehow get mutated. If he ended up looking like the Bloody Hunter, Chun Zhao wouldn't be able to accept it. Chapter 165, Arrival of the Silly Twins. Chapter 165, Arrival of the Silly Twins. Just as Chun Zhao was having his meal, Dion Sloat showed up. However, he did not enter Chun Zhao's house. They stood outside the door and chatted. Chun, thank you for taking care of Azina for me. No problem. Actually, my pet accidentally killed her poodle. Dion was also momentarily stunned. Don't worry. The poodle wouldn't have been alive for too much longer anyway. What? Since she was young, she has never raised a pet for more than a month. For example, her first pet, a rabbit, was crushed by her on her bed. I need to prepare a new pet for her every month, or maybe every half a month. Sometimes, parents who did not have time to accompany their child would hope that pets could replace their role. If it's convenient, can you let her come here and play with your pets? Dion pleaded. Regardless of what kind of person he was or what he had done to the town, he was nothing more than a father at the moment. Of course, I welcome Azina here anytime. Chun Zhao and Dion continued to chat in the courtyard until Azina finished her dinner. Then, Dion brought Azina home. Azina was extremely reluctant to leave Chun Zhao's pets and finally bid them goodbye. Chun, he's the town's mayor, isn't he? Yup. Have you seen him before? Just once. I heard that his reputation here is pretty bad. I don't really care. Our interests don't conflict anyway. Chun Zhao shrugged his shoulders, not bothered. As for whether being too close to Dion would affect his own reputation, Chen Zhao cared even less. Anyway, he did not need everyone to accept him. It would be good as long as his friends accepted him. For example, Bant and Mary would not unfriend him just because he was close to Dion. Chen Zhao did not care about how strangers would think. Fei Lai, do you have money? Huh. How much do you need? How much do you have? 2,000, Fei Lai answered. How long have you been working for? 3.5 years. Do you not have any savings? Why do I need to save? It was a very strange logic, at least to Chen Zhao. On the other hand, Fei Lai thought that Chen Zhao was the weird one. Why would one save one's money instead of spending it? To wait for the USD to devalue? Many people in America preferred advanced consumption. To them, saving too much money in the bank was a foolish act. Chen Zhao, on the other hand, had the typical Chinese mindset. He would save as much money as possible to handle urgent and unforeseeable situations. Moreover, by how much could the USD devalue? It would not affect Chen Zhao too much unless the USD was to devalue to the Japanese yen. Is it urgent? I want to buy a piece of land and build a house of my own. Chen Zhao told Fei Lai the truth. How much more do you need? I had enough at first, but now it's not enough again. I'm afraid I can't help you. $2,000 and a $100 fake black diamond pendant I bought from a flea market are all I have now. Actually, even the $2,000 were borrowed from the bank. Forget it. I'll think of another way. Suddenly, a shadow enveloped the two people on the sofa. Chen Zhao and Fei Lai lifted their heads together. They saw a giant two-headed wolf staring at them from above. Ah! Fei Lai screamed. Chen Zhao pulled Fei Lai's arm and leaped forward. Humans? It's the human world? The two-headed wolf looked at Chen Zhao and Fei Lai, and then inspected its surrounding. Chen, where did it come from? Chen Zhao's face was also filled with bewilderment. Just then, Beelzebub and the rest appeared. All of their faces were filled with anger. Beelzebub complained, Human, you've just summoned another demon. A truly trash demon. Who are you? Chen Zhao stood in front of Fei Lai. Chen Zhao was certain that the two-headed wolf was a demon. Nonetheless, he was the first demon servant not to appear in the form of a small animal. Chen Zhao was also unsure if the demon could understand him just like Beelzebub and the rest. Me? Mammon Bishop. I'm a subordinate of the King of Greed. Human, why am I here? Greed, one of the 7 sins. Chen, I'm scared. Fei Lai grabbed Chen Zhao's shirt tightly as she hid behind him. It's fine. He won't hurt you. Chen Zhao took a deep breath. Beelzebub, Raymond, and Carrie had all been summoned by his desires. As a subordinate of the King of Greed, Mammon Bishop must have been summoned by his desire for money. Mammon, do you plan to keep talking to me like this? I'm your master, after all. Master? How dare a human claim to be my master? Mammon was clearly disrespectful. Then, he leaped forward. Suddenly, he split into 2 wolves, one black and one white. The white wolf jumped forward and turned around to face the black wolf, as if he was trying to stop the black wolf. White, are you stopping me from killing this human? Black, he is indeed your master. If you attack him, you'll be punished too. Master? I have no master. Feel his scent carefully, the white wolf said. The black wolf finally stopped being aggressive and began to inspect Chen Zhao. Huh, how did this happen? Why do I have a master? Why am I in the human world? Looks like you already know your identity and the situation. Chen Zhao heaved a sigh of relief. It would be best not to have a conflict. Chen, it's really fine now, Chen Zhao assured, patting Fei Lai's shoulder. Did you summon them here? Yup. It was purely an accident. Even I was shocked. If you summon any strange things again in the future, can you tell me in advance? I said it's an accident. You sure they won't attack me? Go back to your room first. I'll tell them the rules. All right. Call me when you're done. Fei Lai escaped into her room, bringing Walter with her. Chen Zhao stared at the black wolf and the white wolf before him. They looked as if they were a single entity. Shouldn't you introduce yourselves? I'm White Mammon. He's my brother, Black Mammon. I represent wealth, while he represents price. Be straightforward. I don't understand what you mean. I can give wealth, while he can demand the price. Can you make money appear? No, White Mammon answered. Can you make me win the lottery? No. Then what can you do? I can guide you towards wealth. Of course, you need to pay a price too. What price? Chun Zhao took out a piece of demonic crystal. Is this okay? White Mammon immediately jumped in front of Chun Zhao. Black Mammon also swallowed his pride and stuck his tongue out, his face filled with greed. Chapter 166, Trashiest Demon Duo in History. Chapter 166, Trashiest Demon Duo in History. As expected, demonic crystals were the currency in hell. It could basically be used for all types of trades. How much money can I get with these demonic crystals? Chun Zhao cared more about the exchange rate. There's no set amount. What do you mean? I can help you discover ways to make a fortune around you. The more you put in, the bigger the possibility to get rich. Possibility? So it's not definite? Chun Zhao lost his temper. After all this time, you're just playing with me? Leave. Go back to hell. I don't need you to. No. White Mammon immediately bit Chun Zhao's clothes. We haven't succeeded yet. We haven't even tasted a demonic crystal before. Don't chase us away. What do you mean you haven't succeeded yet? White Mammon was already crying pitifully and wretchedly. Black Mammon was curled on the ground, not making a sound. We're from a rural village. As subordinates of Lord Mammon, we vowed to become the most successful demons, but our abilities are barely useful in hell. One or two would come to ask for the wealth that they want, but we've never succeeded. Other demons wanted to become the strongest demons. They wanted to become the most successful ones. Did you ask for compensation even if you failed? We want to, but most of the time, we can't defeat the demons that ask us for help. Poor kids. So, if they can beat you, they won't have to pay anything. White Mammon stopped speaking. It was clearly an unhappy memory. Then what's with your abilities? Since you're Mammon's subordinate, you should have some unique skills, right? I can smell chances to receive wealth within a certain range. Black Mammon can make the other lose wealth. So you can't give me money directly? Yes, but if you have other requests, we are more than happy to help you. Look at our strong bodies, sharp claws. We can help you rip apart your enemy's neck. You work part-time as fighters. You don't know how hard life in hell is for us. White Mammon started grieving again. Chun Zhao finally understood why Beelzebub had asked why he'd summoned such trashy demons. They really were trash. They were so big because their true forms had been summoned. Beelzebub and Raymond were also subordinates of the 7 deadly sins, but only their projections had been summoned. This was only a part of them, and yet they were still restricted by the laws of the human world. Black and White Mammon's true forms had been summoned because they were just too weak. The laws of the human world barely affected them. Other than the inferior demons Chun Zhao had summoned with his ritual implement, these two had shown perfectly just how weak they could be. And Chun Zhao had thought they were powerful in the beginning. He'd imagined that they were so powerful that they wouldn't be restricted by the laws of the human world. Then they turned out to be weaklings. However, they could scare people if they appeared before others. They also had a unique skill, the ability to combine into one. They could combine into one, and it was really impressive. But they wouldn't become much stronger, because after combining, it was like 1 + 1 is equal to 1. There were no improvements other than the fact that they had 2 heads and 2 mouths. The biggest difference was that their skin color would become black and white. They only needed 1 portion of food too, and both would be satisfied. This could save a lot of money. Oh, I smell wealth, White Mammon suddenly said. Chun Zhao was hopeless. Lying on the sofa, he said, "Don't tell me it's the money in my wallet. I can't smell wealth with an owner." Wealth without an owner? Chun Zhao immediately grew spirited. "Can you take me there?" "Master, you must pay something." "Take it." Chun Zhao tossed the demonic crystal in his hand to White Mammon. Black Mammon looked at it and immediately yelled, "Don't swallow it. Swallow it when we're combined." Beelzebub and the others looked at them in disgust. They were such country bumpkins that had never had demonic crystals before. After combining and swallowing the demonic crystal, the two demons separated happily. I've never had such enjoyment before. I'm starting to think that having a master is nice. If only I can have a good rest now. Chun Zhao kicked both Black and White Mammon. Get up. You want to sleep after getting paid? I almost forgot. I can sense that the wealth is very close. White Mammon led Chun Zhao out the door. Thank God it was night. Otherwise, people would be scared to death to see such a huge wolf. Turning the corner, White Mammon immediately called out, Found it? Where? Here. This? This? Chun Zhao bent down and picked up a quarter. Are you kidding? It's this one. You must be kidding. No, I'm serious. You are definitely kidding, Chun Zhao said, clenching his fists. Master, are you unhappy? Can't you tell? Chun Zhao stared at White Mammon with a dark expression. This isn't valuable. You need at least 1 million of these to be valuable, Chun Zhao muttered darkly. 1 million? Do you know how much money I could make if I had kept that demonic crystal? How much? I'm sure you don't want to know. Let's change the topic. Master, are you angry right now? No. I have no change in mood other than the fact that I'm hungry. What do you want to eat? Wolf meat. Master, I can find 1 million of these for you. Whatever. It's the thought that counts. If I want to depend on you two to get rich, I'd rather go dig a gold mine. Master, I smell wealth again. It's the middle of the night. I'm not lowly enough to look for coins on the ground. It's different. It has a thick smell, 100 times thicker than this one. Chun Zhao wasn't in the mood. He wasn't interested even if it was $100. Go get it yourself. I'm not going. Chapter 167. I would rather I didn't find the gold. Chapter 167. I would rather I didn't find the gold. Chun Zhao was preparing supper for his demon pets. He planned to go to sleep right after that. Black Mammon's mouth was stuffed with meat and his face was wet with tears. I'm already in love with the human world. I'm never ever going back to hell. This kid, how badly did he suffer in hell? Chun Zhao wondered. Leave some for your brother. Don't finish everything. Suddenly, a black figure jumped into the house. White Mammon's originally white hair was already stained with dirt, and his body was also somewhat wet. Master, look at what I've found. Is this valuable? White Mammon opened his mouth and a glittering gold bar dropped out. Chun Zhao's expression froze. Gold? He picked the gold bar up and realized that it was pretty heavy. It was real gold for sure. It should be a standard 1-kilogram gold bar. Master, the place that I've found is filled with this stuff, but I could only carry one back. Immediately, Chun Zhao kicked Black Mammon's ass. Black Mammon looked pitifully at Chun Zhao. Master, did I do something wrong? Your brother's working hard outside, helping me to earn money, while you're just here enjoying free food. Follow me. White Mammon, lead the way. White Mammon led them to a lake. It was precisely the lake beside the piece of land that Chun Zhao had wanted to purchase. Did you find that here? Chun Zhao asked, somewhat surprised. That's right. White Mammon hurriedly ran around the lake and reached the waterfall. Then, he walked into the waterfall. Soon, White Mammon came out with another gold bar. No longer able to restrain himself, Chun Zhao also charged into the waterfall. In the cave behind the waterfall, he saw 2 boxes filled with gold bars. He sat on the ground and started counting. There were 400 gold bars in total. From the gold bars' crafting, it was evident that this was not a treasure from man years ago. Judging from the rust on the box, Chun Zhao deduced that these gold bars had been hidden here for at most a month. White Mammon, are you sure it's ownerless? Master, I can only smell ownerless wealth. If it has an owner, I wouldn't have even smelled it. Chun Zhao searched the boxes again and actually found many passports. They had different names and identities, but photos of the same person. After some examination, Chun Zhao confirmed that they were left here by Treed Pimpton. Should I take them for myself? Chun Zhao began to hesitate. This was a huge wealth for him, but also the compensation for those victims. Chun Zhao felt painful. This was the first time he felt so painful. It was so, So much money. As long as he kept these gold bars, he did not have to do anything for the rest of his life. It was enough wealth to sustain him until his death. Fuck, it would be better if I didn't find them, Qin Zhao muttered to himself. Fei Lai had been awake all this while. She had been hearing the sounds of things coming in and going out of the house, but she had no idea what was happening. After 2 hours, she heard something again. Unable to control herself further, Fei Lai walked out of the house and realized that it was Qian Zhao. The silly twins were right behind him with 2 bags on their backs. Actually, Qian Zhao could have used the spatial ring, but he had asked the silly twins to carry the gold back instead because of his bad mood. Chun, you went out to steal things? Qian Zhao threw the bags on the floor. Clang. It was all gold. Fei Lai was flabbergasted. You really went out to steal things? Fuck no. They were hidden by Treed Pimpton. I found them. Which means you're rich. Why is your face so dark? I have to give them to the fire victims' families for treat. I would rather I didn't find them. Fei Lai gasped. Are you really willing? How much money is this altogether? I'm not. Chun Zhao could even feel his teeth hurt. But even if I sell these gold for money, I won't dare to spend it. I can't live my life spending money that doesn't belong to me. I feel so uncomfortable. I would feel bad too. How about you keep some of it? It'll make you feel better. Never mind. They don't belong to me. Gritting his teeth, Chun Zhao made his decision. How do you plan to give them to the victims' families? I'll ask David to help. Qian Zhao called David. David, help me to check who the victims of the winery fire are, and also those who were injured because of that. I need all the information. That's right. The more detailed, the better. Immediately, David started checking the system in the police station. He easily obtained the relevant information. Although David was not in charge of Mountain Town, such information was shared among all the police stations in the country. Any police would be able to access the information. Chun, I'll send the information to your phone. Check it. Chun Zhao and Fei Lai organized that information. 8 people died, 4 were severely injured, and 5 had minor injuries. There were 400 gold bars, each of which weighed 1 kilogram. Each bar cost around 5,000, so they totaled to about $14.6 million. In the end, Chun Zhao decided to give 35 gold bars to the family of each dead victim, 20 bars for each severely injured victim, and 8 bars for those with mild injuries. As for whether this distribution was reasonable, Chun Zhao could not guarantee either. Qin Zhao could only guarantee that he was going to give all the gold out. Under the quiet night sky, a girl who was 14 or 15 years old sat beside the window, staring at the starry sky. Suddenly, she saw 2 huge figures jump into the courtyard. She took a closer look. They were wolves. The girl screamed in horror. Mom, there's wolves. Wolves. The girl's mother quickly charged into her daughter's room. Abella, what happened? Mom, I saw 2 wolves in our courtyard. Really? The mother was somewhat suspicious. There were indeed traces of wolves in the forest surrounding Mountain Town, but they had never entered the town. Yes, I really saw them. 2 huge wolves, 1 black, 1 white. The mother carefully opened the curtains. There was no wolf outside. However, the mother saw 2 bags on the ground. A few seemingly metallic bars had fallen out from them. The mother walked out of the house. She checked the bars and almost got a heart attack. They were 2 bags of gold, real gold. Mom, there's a piece of paper here. The mother took the paper and read it. Immediately, she covered her mouth with her hand, her face filled with disbelief. Here's the compensation for your husband's death. Please take it. Abella, did you see anyone? No. I really saw 2 wolves, 2 very big wolves, but they disappeared very quickly. The mother was still doubtful. Did 2 people dress up like wolves? Or perhaps she really did see 2 wolves. Or was it just the Almighty God? Just then, the mother's phone rang. She took out her phone and realized that it was her neighbor, Anlitz. Wendy, are you in bed? Anlitz asked. No, Anlitz, what is it? Did you hear anything in your courtyard? Anlitz asked indirectly. Did you also discover something in your yard? You discovered gold too? You too? Yes, I thought that it was a thief. Then, I vaguely saw a beast. When I came out with the gun, I found 40 gold bars on the ground. Chapter 168. The Correct Way to Kidnap a Billionaire. Chapter 168. The Correct Way to Kidnap a Billionaire. An uproar erupted in the town that night. Practically everyone knew that the victims of the fire and their relatives all received a large amount of gold at night. No one could explain who exactly gave it to them. 3 families insisted that a wolf god gave them the gold. They also claimed that the town had an ancient wolf god legend. Chen Zhao woke up in the morning. Last night had been very busy. In the morning, the town was busy as well. A news channel even came to interview them, and many people brought out their gold as evidence. Of course, this had nothing to do with Chen Zhao. Knock, knock. Chen Zhao opened the door. Bant was holding a freshly made pizza. Chun, I knew you'd get up now. Thanks. I'm hungry. You got new family members? Bant peered in and saw the silly twins curled up in the hallway. Yeah, I found them on the street. Chun, thank you. You already said that yesterday. I don't want to hear you say it every day. No, yesterday was for yesterday. Today is for today. They're 2 things. I don't understand. Okay, I'm leaving. Bye. Bant hugged Chen Zhao and walked away. Ken was a victim of the fire, so Chen Zhao obviously included them. The 8 bars of gold indeed helped them with their crisis. Even though Bant had seen through him, Chen Zhao still decided to pretend like he didn't understand. Some things could be known, but didn't have to be said out loud. Actually, Chen Zhao was still in pain. He'd given out more than millions of dollars, but he felt like he'd done the stupidest thing in his life. Just then, Azina came over again. She yelped when she saw the silly twins. Oh my god, you got new pets? Are they wolves? No, they're Alaskan Huskies, just a bit bigger. Chen Zhao poured a glass of milk. Did you eat breakfast? Do you want to try Mary's cooking? Sure. What are their names? Black Mammon, White Mammon, Chen Zhao said. The silly twins were huge. Even Walter was a bit smaller than them. Azina looked even tinier before them. However, girls loved these furry animals. The silly twins had pretty fur too. Are you going out? Not in the morning, Chen Zhao answered. Going out in the afternoon? Yesterday and the day before, Chen Zhao was extremely nervous over Philip Quinn's matter. When he woke up, he realized that his nerves were all gone. He was even a bit excited to do something big in the afternoon. This was probably the reverse reaction after his fear or nerves reached the max limit. Anyway, he was excited. Perhaps this was because he no longer feared life or death. The closer they got to noon, the more excited Chen Zhao grew. Chun, what are you doing in the afternoon? Azina looked at him quizzically. You've been jumpy all morning. You're not going to go rob someone, right? This is for adults. I might not come back tonight after going out. Help me take care of them. Can I bring them home? Sure, Chen Zhao said, nodding. After the job in the afternoon, he also had to attend Leonardo's birthday at night. There probably won't be anyone at home the entire day, so he could have Azina help take care of the demons. What do you want to eat for lunch? I can make it, Chen Zhao said. Barbecue. That won't show my cooking skills at all. What are you good at? Egg fried rice. This was probably Chen Zhao's first time going out without his toolkit after becoming an illegal doctor. To be honest, he felt weird leaving empty-handed. When he'd heard about Philip Quinn's disgusting history, especially Ethan and Caprice's daughter's inhumane experience, Chen Zhao had really wanted to smash that old man's head in. However, the consequences would be too severe, so Chen Zhao decided to attack after putting himself in a relatively safer position. It had to at least be a method that people couldn't get proof of. Fickley Street. A car crash caused a traffic jam on the entire street. By the time Chen Zhao got there, he couldn't go forward at all and could only go by foot. Just then, his phone rang. It was from Captain Lloyd Word. Mr. Chun, where are you right now? I'm at the entrance of Fickley Street. I think there's a car crash. I'm going to go look. No need, Lloyd said. We caused the traffic jam. Turn right and walk for 900 feet. Then turn toward the Testa building and walk 600 feet. Sit in the open-air cafe and wait for my message. Chen Zhao went to the designated location. He ordered a cup of coffee and sat down. As soon as he did so, he saw a couple fighting. Sobbing, the girl ran into the street and was hit forcefully by a car. Chen Zhao froze. He was just about to get up and check when the man sitting at the same table grabbed his arm. Mr. Chun, this was arranged. Chen Zhao's face filled with shock. You're a captain? The man didn't reply. He jutted his chin out. Chen Zhao followed in that direction and saw 3 identical black cars stopped on the road. A siren sounded, but the ambulance was stuck behind the 3 cars. The front of the road was jammed because the woman had been hit. The cars also couldn't reverse because the ambulance had arrived. Philip Quinn is in one of those 3 cars? Yes. How do I get close? As soon as Chen Zhao asked, the fire hydrant beside the road exploded. A beam of water sprayed out. The road started filling with water and was soon half covered. The men in the cars were forced to get out. Chen Zhao saw the old man in the middle car. He was brought out by bodyguards from the other 2 cars. Philip was surrounded by a dozen bodyguards in black. Each guard was huge and muscular, and they circled Philip. Their destination was probably close by, so they decided to walk. But as soon as they walked out of the fire hydrant's range, traffic started flowing again. The men had to get back in their cars. The moment they sent their boss to the car, it accelerated without waiting for the other guards to get on. Chen Zhao had witnessed it all, and he was utterly impressed. It had only been 1 minute from Philip and his guards getting out of the car to getting in again. But in that 1 minute, the driver had changed. Chapter 169. Be Spider-Man for once. Chapter 169. Be Spider-Man for once. The bodyguards quickly charged into the other 2 cars and started chasing their boss's car. Chen Zhao looked at the person beside him. Where do I go now? Wait here. Indeed, in less than 3 minutes, the car that carried Philip Quinn returned, and it had already lost the bodyguards' cars. Chen Zhao could not help but admire the importance of professionalism. The kidnap looked just like a movie scene. All the routes and timings had been planned perfectly. I don't understand why you didn't do this on Fickley Street directly. The road on Fickley Street is wider. Even if we created an accident to block the road, it would soon be cleared. Also, there are cameras along that road which would capture everything, but no cameras on this road. The person beside Chen Zhao replied. Then why did you burst that fire hydrant? I can't figure out its purpose. To obstruct the driver's view. In order for our people to replace the driver, we would need to get close to the car. Philip's driver is a professional bodyguard too. If we went near the car under normal circumstances, we would have certainly drawn his attention. Therefore, we must block his view before we could appear before the car unnoticed, and then replace him. The person beside Chen Zhao paused and patted his shoulder. You can enter the car now. Philip is in there. Chen Zhao boarded the car. In the car, there was an unconscious old man, but it was not Philip Quinn. Chen Zhao's expression changed. Why is he not Philip? The driver turned his head and asked in puzzlement. He's not Philip?
No.
Chen Zhao shook his head. It's a trap. He's a substitute. The driver's face also darkened. Let's go. He must have a tracker on his body. Don't stay in the car. The driver left the car with Chen Zhao and then glanced at him. I'm Captain Lloyd Word. In my plan, I didn't even think about whether there might be a substitute. Philip has no record of using a substitute before, so it's our mistake. According to our agreement, we only take half the price. Even if you want to continue with this mission, we will still only charge you half the original price. No need. Chen Zhao shook his head, feeling rather stressed. I'll transfer you the money. We won't owe each other anything. Captain Lloyd Word glanced at Chen Zhao, looking as if he wanted to say something. In the end, however, he still remained silent. Chen Zhao turned around and walked away. He could feel a fire burning intensely in his body. Just then, Lloyd caught up with him again. Do you plan to act alone? You won't succeed. Gaia has told me that you're a very strong individual, but Philip's bodyguards are professional too. This time, it was a secret plot, but now, he will definitely be more alert. If you act harshly, I'm afraid you'll almost surely face a terrible death. Can I ask you something? What? Can you get CL Building security information? You want to intrude into CL Building directly? If you can give me the security information, I'll appreciate it a lot. At least I'll feel that I didn't waste my money. I've studied CL Building before. Philip owns the top 3 floors. He lives on the 129th floor. His bodyguards live on the 130th floor, while the 128th floor is their activity area. It's completely impossible to sneak into his level from the main gate. You need an access card to enter CL Building in the first place. If you attempt to take the elevator to the 128th floor, there'll be manual identification. Once they mark you as an intruder, the 129th floor will be entirely sealed off. What if I enter from the sky? You mean helicopter or parachuting? That's basically impossible as well. Although there's a helipad on the rooftop, there's also 24-hour security. So it's almost impossible to intrude into CL Building. The reality isn't a movie. The various miracles in movies are nearly impossible to achieve in reality, Lloyd said. CL Building has a perfect security system. You won't be able to enter it successfully unless you destroy the building with strong firepower, or you find Spider-Man and ask him to climb up the outer walls. Climb up the outer walls? Don't even think about it. CL Building has 130 floors. Nobody can climb 129 floors. What tools do I need to climb CL Building? Chun Zhao asked. Are you mad? I said it's impossible. Nobody can be that strong. Do you have the tools? Are you serious? Lloyd gazed at Chun Zhao. Do I look like I'm joking with you? Chun Zhao said with a straight face. Do you have rock climbing experience? No. How about building climbing experience? No. Lloyd felt that Chun Zhao was merely looking for a way to kill himself. Lloyd stared at Chun Zhao. Is your hatred towards Philip really so intense? I need to make up for my mistake. What did you do wrong? I gave him health. It's time for me to take it back. As a mercenary, Lloyd obviously knew about Philip's various crimes. After some silence, Lloyd offered, I can give you a set of Spider-Man gear, and also provide you with some help as an individual. 8 p.m. at night. Lloyd sat in an official car, looking at CL Building with an infrared telescope. Then, he took out his walkie-talkie. Try the 4 suction cups now and see if they're working. Yes, everything's normal. I can't see you yet. Try to climb 20 meters up, Lloyd instructed. Very soon, Chun Zhao climbed 20 meters up the south wall of CL Building with the help of the suction cups. Wearing a tight Spider-Man outfit, he was literally cosplaying Spider-Man. To be honest, when Chen Zhao looked down from 20 meters high, he already felt pretty dizzy. Climbing up the outer wall was scarier than he had imagined. Just then, he heard Lloyd from his headset. How do you feel? You can still give up now. I'll continue, Chun Zhao said, trying to control his fear. Then from now on, I'll try to speak with you as little as possible. You won't have to spend too much energy talking. No, continue to speak with me. It can distract me from my fear, Chun Zhao said. Are you sure? Yes, Chun Zhao confirmed. Tell me what happened between you and Philip. Actually, I've only met him once. Lloyd quietly listened to Chen Zhao's story. To be honest, he had the same feeling as Chen Zhao. This kind of scumbag should have died in jail. From a moral perspective, Chun Zhao was not wrong when he healed Philip. Therefore, Lloyd could also understand why Chen Zhao wanted to kill Philip so badly. Tell me your current position. My indicator shows I'm 135 meters above the ground. Do you think you can still continue? Yes. I'm actually no longer afraid of heights now. Can you tell me your breathing rate? 38 times per minute. Chapter 170, Crazy Fitness. Chapter 170, Crazy Fitness. Half an hour later, Chun Zhao already reached the 80th floor. Lloyd Word was surprised. Even climbing stairs inside shouldn't be so fast, but Chun Zhao had reached the 80th floor in half an hour. Lloyd might be able to get there, but he'd need to rest and take at least 3 hours. This guy's body was crazy. Just then, Chun Zhao's phone rang. Hello, Chun? Where are you? Chun Zhao could tell it was Fei Lai's voice. I'm busy. You're still working? We said we're going to Leonardo's birthday party together. Sienna, David and Chris are with me already. You're the only one missing. Soon. I'll get over there soon. You sound out of breath. Don't tell me you're night jogging again. No, I really am working. Okay, hurry up. Oh, can you help me buy a gift? What do you have in mind? Can you help me buy Leonardo a watch? What kind? Within $1,000. Lloyd was listening to Chen Zhao and Fei Lai's conversation too. He was a bit speechless. This guy wasn't the normal kind of fit. How could he have the energy to discuss a friend's birthday party when he was so high in the air? His mouth never stopped the entire time too. Talking while doing such tiring labor would use up much more energy. After Chen Zhao hung up, Lloyd said, Chun, you still have 20 levels before 129. You can hurry up if you still have the energy. Chen Zhao pulled off the suction cup of his left hand and started speeding up. The main part of the Spider-Man gear were the suction cups. The man-made fiber cups were very resilient and had many tiny holes. The holes would balance the air pressure within 5 seconds if the suction cups were placed on a smooth and flat surface. This reduced the suction of the cups, meaning he had to keep climbing and couldn't rest. Lloyd looked through the binoculars. Chen Zhao had obviously sped up. This guy was practically a monster. How did he train? Maybe Lloyd had to ask him for some tips. Chen Zhao suddenly had motivation. A lot of motivation. Boundless energy seemed to flow out of him. Thinking that he could soon see Philip and make him pay, Chen Zhao grew very excited. Chun, you're there. Use the main suction cup to stabilize yourself, Lloyd said. Use the iron pin to break the glass. Chen Zhao drew a circle on the glass and then smacked it. The entire piece of tempered glass flew in. Chen Zhao was finally able to go in. He put on the night vision glasses and turned off the walkie-talkie. He had to admit that Philip Quinn's wealth allowed his life to be unimaginably opulent. The entire 129th floor was his. Chen Zhao looked at Philip, who was lying on the large bed. He was sure that this was Philip. He was deep asleep now. Chen Zhao pounced directly onto him. Philip woke up with a start, but he quickly realized that his mouth was covered. Under the faint light from the window, he could vaguely make out a figure in a Spider-Man costume. Have you seen hell before? Chen Zhao's voice had changed due to the headpiece. A heavy bell suddenly rang out in Philip's mind. It was the death toll from hell. He realized that lava started flowing around him. The dark horizon was like the end of the world. Looking at the terrified Philip, Chen Zhao finally smiled happily. After using Hell Knell, he also gave Philip the spiritual sting. These two spells together resulted in double the psychological torture. Chen Zhao wasn't satisfied, though. Merely psychological torture couldn't satisfy him. He took out a bottle of potion called Blood of Decay. He prepared this just for Philip. After pouring the Blood of Decay into Philip's mouth, Chen Zhao knocked him out. Lloyd had said that after successfully infiltrating the room, Philip couldn't make a single sound or movement. They didn't know if there were any alarms in the room or bed. Chen Zhao returned to the hole in the glass and jumped out. The moment he started falling, he opened his parachute. It was his first time parachuting, and it was from a low altitude too. Low-altitude parachuting was more dangerous than from a high altitude. It could be fatal for a newbie like Chen Zhao, but it was the only way to escape. It wasn't like he could climb back down. The parachute slowly dropped to the designated location. Lloyd was there waiting. Did you succeed? Yes. Chen Zhao ripped off his mask and panted heavily. Did you kill him? No, but I can make it more painful than death. An excited and cruel smile appeared on Chen Zhao's face. I didn't think such a bizarre plan would be so successful. Can you give me a ride? Of course. To where? The car stopped at Leonardo's entrance. Chen Zhao and Lloyd hugged. Captain, thank you. If you need help, please contact me. No problem. I have a daughter too, so I think what you did was right. Goodbye. Bye. Lloyd drove the car away, but Chen Zhao stayed at the door. He put on the Spider-Man costume again while calling Fei Lai. Fei Lai, are you still at Leonardo's house? Yeah. He asked why you're not here. I'm outside. Where's the gift you helped me buy? It's on me. Take it to the bathroom. Chen Zhao snuck into Leonardo's house. After infiltrating CL building, he felt like this was a piece of cake. When Fei Lai saw a Spider-Man climb into the bathroom window, she almost freaked out. Sure, it's me. Chen? It's me. You're late because of this outfit? No, I had an emergency patient. I had to do some special treatment. Fine. How do you want to make your entrance? Just then, the bathroom door opened. Leonardo stood in the doorway, staring at Fei Lai and Spider-Man in shock. Did I come at the wrong time? Leonardo gaped. Leonardo, you ruined my grand entrance, you know? Chapter 171, Birthday Party and Rufford's Comeback Race. Chapter 171, Birthday Party and Rufford's Comeback Race. Leonardo had initially been somewhat disappointed by Chen Zhao's absence, but he did not expect Chen Zhao to have actually put in so much effort just to surprise him at his birthday party. Immediately, he felt rather touched. Leonardo, this is for you. Chen Zhao passed Leonardo a gift box. Thank you, Chen. You look really handsome in this outfit. Well, I take it as a white lie. I'm serious. You indeed look great. The three returned to the living room. Sienna, Chris and David were all already there. With colored ribbons everywhere, the living room was enveloped in a festive atmosphere. Chun, here you are. Why are you in a Spider-Man costume? Chun, you're late. Finish this bottle first. David threw Chen Zhao a bottle of beer. Isn't it boring to just drink like this? Let's have some programs. Me. Fei Lai was not shy at all. Find me a pole. Are you going to pole dance? I learned it before, Fei Lai said, but it'll be my first time dancing outside class. In fact, contrary to popular belief, pole dance was not just an erotic dance. There were even international competitions in professional pole dancing, including both male and female divisions. Moreover, pole dancing was actually a good way to maintain one's shape. Leonardo found a pole and also held the pole vertical. Fei Lai danced around Leonardo, performing teasing actions every now and then. It was almost like a welfare Fei Lai gave to the birthday boy. After the dance, everyone's mood was heightened further. Fei Lai, during my next birthday, dance for me too. David laughed. Me too. Me too. Chen Zhao echoed. At the birthday party, the group sang and jumped around. Leonardo, my friend, has a track and field competition later at LA Memorial Coliseum. I've asked him to give me a few tickets. How about we go and watch his competition together, and then go to a bar and drink all night? Chen Zhao suggested. Sure. Now? Of course. His competition is in an hour's time. We can still make it in time. Chen Zhao had already asked Board to wait outside the stadium with the tickets. Therefore, when they arrived at the stadium, they received their tickets straight away. Chun, which one is your friend? Rufford. Have you heard of him before? No, but henceforth I shall be his loyal fan. The competition was a star invitational, and there were many famous athletes from all over the world. The atmosphere in the stadium was very lively. Americans surely love track and field, and America was also very strong in the sport. America's track and field had always been the best in the world. There was such a saying, Bolt dominated sprinting, while Americans dominated track and field. This was certainly not an exaggeration, because America's track and field results had indeed been way ahead of the other countries. 100-meter sprint had always been a major and also the most popular part of track and field. Thus, when the sprinters entered the field, the audience was lit with enthusiasm. Then, the host started to announce each athlete's name. Whenever an athlete's name was called, the applause and cheers from the audience would reflect his popularity and reputation. When Rufford's name was announced, however, almost nothing could be heard from the audience. Not a lot of people knew him at all. David, let's cheer for him. Together, David stood up and took out a plastic loudspeaker. The group stood in a row and shouted together, Rufford, all the best. Rufford's originally calm mood was enlivened at once. He saw Chen Zhao and the people beside him. Their cheer was very abrupt, but it ignited all the blood in his body. The referee signaled all the participants to get ready. Rufford placed his right foot on the start line and got into position. Following the gunshot, the 8 sprinters flew across the track like 8 rainbows. A deafening silence erupted among the audience as everyone stared firmly at the sprinters. In just 10 seconds, the competition was over. The audience was stirred up again. A number appeared on the screen. Downwind, 1. 1 meter per second, 9. 69. Who is it? Who achieved this result? A name appeared on the screen. Rufford Kieran. All the audience were bubbling with excitement. It was so far the best result to be achieved in international competitions that year. While it did not break the world record, it was still an amazing achievement. With this result, the sprinter would very likely win the championship even in Diamond League or Golden League. Moreover, this result entered the top 3 among all the 100-meter sprint records in America. Of course, it was still significantly slower than the world record of 9.58 seconds. To sprinters, 1/10 of a second was already a very huge difference, hence the saying, Bolt-dominated sprinting. He was much better than all the other sprinters. Rufford ran along the side of the track in excitement. He had actually won this Star Invitational and achieved such a fantastic result. In addition, he also became the 3rd 100m sprinter to achieve a timing of 9.7 seconds. He was destined to be the spotlight of the night. At the moment, all the media teams in the stadium were crowding around and interviewing him. I need to thank one person. He's my personal doctor. When everyone gave up on me, when the club gave up on me, he gave me hope. He gave me courage and confidence. When I was totally broke, he helped me. I also need to thank my coach, Mr. Board. Chen Zhao and his friends only managed to meet Rufford half an hour after the prize-giving ceremony. Board was beside Rufford too. When Rufford saw Chen Zhao, he immediately gave Chen Zhao a warm hug. Rufford had yet to fully calm down from his victory. Chen Zhao introduced his friends to him one by one. Rufford, do you still have any competitions in the next few days? I have 2 national competitions. Then I won't ask you to come and drink with us. Take care of your body. Have fun. Rufford also wanted to go and play with Chen Zhao, but as an athlete, he knew that keeping sober and healthy was the wiser choice. Furthermore, if he chose to go out and play, he would inevitably eat food that was unhealthy or even contained hormones. Usually, an athlete would be banned from eating outside food half a month before a competition. After bidding Rufford goodbye, Chen Zhao and his friends started their plan to drink through the night. Does anyone know where's the nearest bar? Me. I'll lead the way, David offered. Chen Zhao had never been so relaxed before. Finishing Philip Quinn and then partying with his friends made him feel better than ever. Chapter 172, Playing to the Police Station. Chapter 172, Playing to the Police Station. Leonardo, you keep staring at that pretty blonde. She your type? Leonardo was a bit shy. She's pretty? Then go and get her number. I don't know her. How can I get her number? Then you'll have to ask Chin, Chris said. He asked for my number the first time we met. Leonardo, if you can get her number, I'll pay tonight, Chen Zhao said. But, go. Don't be scared. Everyone was tipsy now. Encouraged by them all, Leonardo gathered his courage and walked toward the pretty blonde. Miss, can I have your number? The girl glanced at Leonardo, rolled her eyes, and turned around. Leonardo came back, head hanging low. Chris looked at Chen Zhao. You go. Chen Zhao stood up and walked to the blonde. Can I sit here? She glanced at Chen Zhao and nodded. Are you alone or waiting for friends? Alone, the blonde replied. After alcohol enters your body, it'll mix into your blood. If you talk to someone, you'll take in more oxygen. This can reduce the effect of the alcohol and speed up metabolism. That's why you should never drink by yourself. It's lonely, so I'll buy you this one. The blonde tried the drink and scooted closer to Chen Zhao. Her red lips carried an intoxicating fragrance. You know what makes the drunkenness go away even faster? Intense exercise and sweating. Sweat can expel alcohol too. This is my hotel room number and my phone number. If you need to get sober, you can come find me tonight. Chen Zhao returned to the group with a triumphant smile. Chun, You're too awesome. How did you do that? It's a skill. Let's play cards, Sienna said. Yeah, let's play. 10 rounds later, Chun Zhao and Sienna practically never lost. Sienna, can you make that guy behind you stop walking around? Chun Zhao called out. Your cheating is so obvious. There's someone behind Sienna? Leonardo asked, confused. Chris, David, and Feilai all knew what Chun Zhao meant. They just didn't explain it. Don't say you didn't cheat. It's only cheating if you get caught. Otherwise, it's a skill. You're all so powerful. Can you not trick us normal people? They were kind of drunk now. Just then, a big guy with a beard, leather jacket, and bandana walked over to Feilai. Miss, can I have this dance? Sorry, I have a partner. Feilai held on to Chun Zhao's arm. That Asian? The big guy looked down drunkenly at Chun Zhao. Go away. Don't cause trouble for yourself. Chun Zhao stood up, swaying. Boom. The big guy punched straight at Chun Zhao's face, sending him to the ground. But then he picked himself up again. Like an angry bull, Chun Zhao headbutted the big guy's chest, pushing him to the center of the dance floor. Chun Zhao pressed him down and started raining down blows. An hour later, Chun Zhao sat in the police station with a bruised face. David, Leonardo, Feilai, Chris, and Sienna all sat beside him. They were much more sober now, for big guys sat across from them with similar bruised faces. The bar owner had called the cops on them for public fighting. Reality proved that one's skills and street fighting weren't really related. In a chaotic fight like this, it was just a punch from you and a kick from me. The four across from them weren't easy targets. They were all from a biker gang and practically 10 feet tall. They were very muscular and probably twice as big as Chun Zhao. Fighting was an everyday thing for them. Compared to Chun Zhao's group of 6 rookies, it was much easier for them. They didn't have an advantage in this fight, though. Chun Zhao and David were like human dragons. They could take on 2 each with no problem. In the fight, both sides were hurt, but the 4 bikers had more serious injuries. Leonardo broke his left arm and had a cast now. 2 of the bikers also had casts. Hey, you're all pretty strong, the big bearded guy said. He was the cause of this conflict. He was the one who'd started fighting with Chun Zhao, but he didn't get angry at Chun Zhao's group because of this. Fighting was like eating to bikers. They moved on after each fight ended. They wouldn't hold grudges just because they'd fought. You're not bad either. Melson walked over. Sign this and you can leave. The 2 didn't plan on suing the other, so there was no need to go to court. After the bikers left, Leonardo cowered a little when faced with Melson. Chin, I didn't think that you'd know how to fight. You finally got some blackmail material on me? Chun Zhao touched the bruise on his cheek. It was still hurting. Oh, right. Chin, I heard that the fire victims in Mountain Village all got a mysterious gift. Do you know about this? It's not a secret. Of course I know. It doesn't have anything to do with you, right? If it's me, I'd definitely keep the gold, Chun Zhao said matter-of-factly. I wouldn't do all that. Fine. Melson didn't plan on continuing to ask. He turned to Leonardo. Today's your birthday, so I won't yell at you. Hand a report to my office tomorrow. The farce was finally over. They all walked out of the police station. However, they were all happy tonight. Even though they'd ended up at the cops, it was still an interesting experience. Thank you for giving me a beautiful birthday party. Leonardo hugged everyone. As long as you don't think we ruined your birthday. No way, Leonardo said genuinely. This is the happiest night of my life. Even better than when you lost your virginity? David asked. Leonardo was speechless. This was a very meaningful night to him. It was also a meaningful night for Chun Zhao. Everyone was tired after the eventful night, though, so they all went back home. Chapter 173, I Smell Wealth. Chapter 173, I Smell Wealth. The next day, Chun Zhao actually woke up before Feilai. Feilai was too exhausted from the previous night. While Chun Zhao was tired too, he rested very well precisely because he was relaxed. Nevertheless, Chun Zhao was awakened by the doorbell. Azina and Dion were outside the door. Behind them were Beelzebub, Carrie, Obitos, and the silly twins. Raymond had wrapped himself around Beelzebub's neck. Lastly, Walter was still at the coastal rescue team. Robio would look after him. Because Phalai had perhaps encountered a supernatural event the day before the last day, Chunjiao had decided to let Walter accompany her. Also, because of Leonardo's birthday party the last day, they did not bring Walter back. Chun, here are your pets. Thanks. Did they cause you any trouble yesterday? To be honest, I was indeed shocked when Azina brought them back yesterday, but soon I discovered that they are much smarter than I thought. Even Raymond surprised me. Chun, are you an animal trainer? Haha, I'm a doctor. Dad, can I invite them to our home again next time? Of course, but you have to ask Chun first. Chun, can I? Azina asked, looking at Chun Zhao. Sure, Dad. I want to stay here and play with them. Remember to come back for lunch? Among Chun Zhao's demon servants, the silly twins should be the most obedient ones. Their lives had been difficult since young. One day, suddenly, they could eat all the meat they wanted. They could even occasionally get demonic crystals for dessert. It was thus not hard to imagine how happy and docile they were. At the start, Chun Zhao had really thought that they were two irritable and proud demons. After just one test, they had completely exposed their true nature. They had long thrown away their pride as demons. Just like how a classic saying goes, they would submit to whoever that fed them. They would befriend anyone who gave them food. Although their appearances were indeed wolves, they were more like two huskies, except that they were larger and had bigger appetites. According to them, they had never had a satisfying meal in hell before. Now that they had Chun Zhao as their master, they had to make up for the food that they had missed. When Chun Zhao heard that, his face was filled with mere contempt. As subordinates of one of the 7 great demon kings, their situation was really embarrassing. Look at the subordinate of Raymond Stees, the king of lust, or Beelzebub, a subordinate of the king of gluttony. While they might not be that powerful, they at least had their own territories. Their ranks were not high, but they still had their own homes and jobs. In comparison, the silly twins were just 2 tramps. Azina played until noon and left. Chun Zhao only called Phalai up for lunch. Phalai, are you going to work today? Yup. I didn't tell Robio that I would be absent in the morning. Phalai would never pretend to be a gentlewoman in front of Chun Zhao. She had a drink as she stuffed her mouth with food. Because she had to go to the coastal rescue team in the afternoon, she could not drink alcohol. If this was dinner instead, Phalai would certainly be holding a can of beer. Why don't you go to Angel Beach with me? You can play there, and we can come back together at night. Sure. Chun Zhao also wanted to relax for a few days, so he did not reject Phalai's invitation. Can they go too? Chun Zhao was worried for none of his pets but Obitos. The other demons were either dogs or dog-like. On the other hand, Obitos was a giant lizard. About as big as an adult Komodo dragon, he looked really frightening. Phalai was already used to it, so she would not feel scared. However, if Obitos was brought to the beach, he could probably shock the tourists out of their wits. Of course. We can leave Obitos to sunbathe at the HQ, Phalai said, throwing Obitos a piece of meat meanwhile. The entire family barely managed to fit into Phalai's small car. Chun Zhao sat on the front passenger seat. On the rear seats, the silly twins already occupied the majority of the space available. There were still the similarly big Obitos, Beelzebub, Carrie, and Raymond. It was the first time the silly twins came out to play, so they looked particularly excited. They lied down near the windows, appreciating the scenery outside. When they arrived at the beach, the silly twins eagerly jumped out of the car. Their shoulder heights were already taller than Chun Zhao's waist. Indeed, they were 2 out-and-out huge wolves. Nevertheless, most people could not differentiate between huskies, Alaskan Malamutes, and wolves. Hence, none of the tourists thought that they were actual wolves. On the other hand, nobody dared to go near Obitos who was lying on the ground. When Phalai and Chun Zhao walked into the HQ of the coastal rescue team, they still managed to shock Robio. What the fuck? Chun, is your home a zoo? Are these your pets? Robio walked up and inspected the silly twins. Are they wolves? Huh, you can tell? I worked in a zoo for 3 years before, Robio said. Are you sure they won't hurt the tourists here? Black Ma, White Ma, roll on the ground. Dessert for tonight. At the moment, the two of them had long thrown away their pride as demons. They were thrilled by the word dessert. Robio looked at the silly twins in surprise. They're really smart. Huh, a lizard? What a special color. Is it a mutant? Give it a place to sunbathe, and I'll bring my other pets to play outside. Oh yeah, where's Walter? He's already patrolling on the beach. Chun, how did you train your pets? Walter now knows how to save a person without anyone's guidance. Our rescue team recently purchased 2 more dogs. Can you train them for me? Don't even think about it. I'm busy enough. You're busy and yet you're here to play? We've known each other for so long, and this is my first time here. Doesn't that show how busy I am? Do you want me to give up my rare free time and train the dogs for you? Chun Zhao changed to his swim trunks and then went out to enjoy himself. The other pets had also left, but the silly twins still stayed beside Chun Zhao. To be honest, the silly twins were attracting too much attention. After all, they were really too big. Many kids walked up to either touch or hug them. Master, I smell wealth. Stop right there if it's coins again. I'm not here to pick up coins. Chun Zhao was very disappointed with White Ma's unreliable ability. In fact, he was even somewhat hopeless about their intelligence. He already had to spend a lot of time and effort to make the silly twins remember the different US notes, not to mention the even more complicated coin system. Although White Ma had indeed successfully found many gold bars last time, he was only being lucky. Chun Zhao did not believe that White Ma would be lucky for the second time. It's real. It smells very much like the gold last time, but it's rather faint. Maybe there aren't as many pieces, or perhaps they're too far away. Gold. Chun Zhao was energized at once. Can you locate the source? Chapter 174, The Town's Dog Craze. Chapter 174, The Town's Dog Craze. The scent is very faint, White Ma said. Is there a direction? Chun Zhao asked. The scent is very faint. Can you sense the amount? The scent is very... Chun Zhao kicked him to the ground. If you tell me the scent is faint again, we'll eat dog meat for dinner. White Ma felt wronged. He was telling the truth. Many people would accidentally lose change on the beach too, and the coins also had faint scents. It affected his senses. Chun Zhao didn't have any desire for change. They were only a couple of cents each. He probably couldn't get $100 even if he found all the coins on the beach. If it was paper money, it would be more obvious and people would get it before Chun Zhao. It wouldn't be as hidden as coins. Chun Zhao's phone rang. Ethan's excited voice streamed in from the other end. Chun, you did it, right? You did it. What are you talking about? That old bastard's in the hospital. The media caught Philip Quinn being taken into the hospital. His entire leg looks like it's rotting. He kept screaming on the stretcher. You did that, right? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm busy, gotta go. Wait, don't hang up. Ethan exclaimed. Chen, I had someone ask around. The police seemed to have found some evidence to prove that Philip had been attacked at home. They're investigating already. Be careful. Oh, Chen Zhao replied calmly. At the same time, he wondered what evidence it could be. Was it Philip's hysterical testimony? No one would believe an old madman, right? Oh, right. It was the hole in the wall that Chen Zhao had climbed in from. The hole was too obvious. He couldn't have covered it either. Chen Zhao didn't worry about it, though. He believed that his plan yesterday was practically the perfect crime. Lloyd had helped him analyze the entire process. First was the climbing. Unless someone else had infrared binoculars too, no one else would be able to see Chun Zhao climbing CL building at night. Second, Chun Zhao had on the Spider-Man mask. His entire body was sealed, so he couldn't have left behind skin cells or hair in Philip's room. Then there was the parachuting. He'd painted it black, so it was difficult to be discovered. There was a small possibility that he left evidence while climbing and parachuting, but it was impossible to say it was him. He also had nothing to do with Philip, so no one would suspect him. The most critical point was that the police wouldn't think that someone had climbed up. They would only think that someone had climbed down. After all, Climbing straight up for hundreds of meters was impossible in a short period. This wasn't like rock climbing either, which would be easier. There were places for resting while rock climbing. It wasn't impossible to rest in every path. There were chances to replenish one's energy. But in a crime, it was impossible to climb hundreds of meters in a short time. Instead of worrying if the police would find him, Chun Zhao would rather find some coins on the beach. The silly twins searched happily too. The more they found, the better they would eat that night. Many tourists on the beach came over to take pictures of them. Chun Zhao had hung a sign and can on their necks, "Please tip for selfies." He didn't write down a price, but they'd collected a can of coins in an afternoon. After they found out that they could make money from pictures, they would stop those that didn't pay. They practically became the bullies of the beach. This was also why they became the most popular tourist attraction there. In the end, many tourists purposely didn't pay them so they could play around. No one cared about people who made money through pictures like this. After all, America didn't have city guards. There were a lot of buskers on the beach too. After finding this new and easy way to get rich, the silly twins didn't want to leave the beach. Unfortunately, the crowd thinned around the evening. Time to go. Fei Lai collected her things and saw the 2 cans of money on the silly twins' necks. To be honest, she'd witnessed Chun Zhao summon these too. In the beginning, they'd given off a strong, oppressive feeling, so she'd thought that they were cold and arrogant. Their performance at the beach today completely upended her impression of them. As long as the tourists gave money, they were willing to be petted, hugged, or ridden. Their statuses had completely been destroyed. They probably didn't even know that they'd once had an impressive image. Are we going straight home? Let's go to the supermarket and buy some dog food. In one night, they ate a month's supply of Beelzebub, Carrie, and Walter's food. They aren't normal wolves or dogs, right? Is it okay to give them dog food? Do you two like dog food? The silly twins nodded furiously without holding back. The sea wind on the coast highway was a bit chilly as it blew into the car. Even with a city like L, winter nights still made one feel cold. Chun Zhao didn't like having cold air blow in his face, but the silly twins didn't care about the others. They enjoyed the wind, hoping they could continue tomorrow. It was their first time truly making money. They'd earned the money for buying the dog food today too. When they reached the supermarket in town, Chun Zhao left the pets at customer service, but the worker actually told him that dogs could be taken inside. This was strange because the supermarket always had a clear sign saying that pets weren't allowed. After asking, they learned that the town suddenly had a dog craze. In 2 days, there were 100 new dogs in town. Most of them were huskies as well. The silly twins were too big, but the worker still saw them as huskies. When Chun Zhao brought them into the supermarket, he realized that there really were other customers with their dogs. Chapter 175, Killer Coin. Chapter 175, Killer Coin. Fei Lai, did you just receive your pay? No. Then why did you take so much stuff? You're not expecting me to pay for those cosmetics, are you? Fei Lai rolled her eyes. Of course I'm paying myself. Those things cost more than 1,000, right? When I wanted to borrow money from you the day before yesterday, you said you didn't have any. I'm going to use my credit card. Fei Lai rolled her eyes at Chun Zhao again. My dad gave it to me. You're still using your family's money when you've already been working outside for a few years. Yeah, I know. I'm used to splurging. My dad also knows that my current work certainly can't sustain my spending. So your family's quite rich, I suppose? I would say so. At least my dad's income should be pretty high. After they left the supermarket, they filled the trunk of the car with stuff. Ukla. Smith, it's late. Aren't you going back? Smith lifted his head, adjusted his glasses, and replied, Not yet. I still need to organize the data I got today. Smith was a historian. He had obtained his PhD at UCLA. Currently, he was a lecturer in UCLA. His main research interests included the Maya civilization and the Inca Empire. He had led teams deep into the Amazon rainforest several times to find traces of the Maya civilization. Also, he had brought many relics back, including many with important historical or research value. Smith was indeed successful in his career and also had a loving family. However, 12 years ago, Smith suddenly divorced his wife. That time, all his colleagues were bewildered. They did not understand why the two would divorce despite their seemingly stable relationship. Furthermore, after his divorce, Smith had become very dispirited. The once admirable, elegant, and handsome lecturer was gone, replaced instead by a decadent, slovenly man whose face was permanently filled with an untidy beard and whose body always emitted an unpleasant odor. After the last colleague left the lab, Smith stood up and took out a coin from his pocket. Staring at the coin in his hand, his eyes were filled with a complicated look. He had found the coin in one of the ruins of the Maya civilization. That time, a rich man who wanted the coin had already contacted him in advance. Smith accepted the deal because he really needed money. Moreover, the rich man had offered him a very high price. Therefore, he secretly brought the coin out of the ruin and did not inform the archaeology team. Little did he expect it to be a cursed coin. Since the day he received the coin, he had been surrounded by bad luck. The first victim was the rich man. The day after they completed the trade, the rich man died in his own house. The coin also eerily appeared in his pocket again. Next, his pregnant wife miscarried due to an accident. Because of this, they eventually divorced. By then, Smith had already realized the coin's peculiar and ominous nature. He tried to destroy the coin. He took the coin to one of the buildings in the university and dissolved it with sulfuric acid. The coin vanished completely before him, but tragedy happened again. That day, about a dozen students wanted to steal from the warehouse. Coincidentally, Smith had just taken the sulfuric acid from the warehouse and forgotten to lock the door. The students successfully entered the warehouse. When they were discovered by others, they were already dead in the warehouse, killed by chemical poisoning. In addition, the supposedly destroyed coin appeared before Smith again. That time, he had yet to realize the severity of the issue. He tried to destroy the coin a few more times, but he would always get the coin back again in peculiar ways. No matter where he left the coin or how he destroyed the coin, it would return to him in the end. In addition, he discovered a pattern. The more severe he damaged the coin, the more severe the accident would be. Also, the accidents all occurred beside him. However, he also found out that every time a person died, he would obtain a corresponding amount of wealth. Before the rich man died, he had obtained a huge amount of money from the man. When the students died in the warehouse, he won the second highest prize in Powerball, which was $1 million. It was almost as if the money was a reward for his work. At the start, Smith was thrilled, but soon, he was creeped out. Although he had received all the money legally, every time such a coincidence happened, he would have a sleepless night. Later, he tried to give the coin to others. However, the coin would still somehow return to him. The person who received the coin would also experience an accident, where the severity depended on the time he had the coin with him. Half a year ago, he went to Hawaii for holiday and left the coin on the cruise. The next day, he received an inheritance from his grandfather, whom he had not met for many years. It was a total of $20 million. Then, he heard that the cruise ship which he had been on was missing due to a storm. There were over 2,000 passengers on the cruise back then. Suddenly, the coin in Smith's hand began to tremble and give a buzzing sound. Again, Smith looked at the coin, after which he walked towards the now abandoned university building. In the past years, he had been studying the coin. Therefore, he now more or less knew the coin's characteristics. The coin seemed to feed on souls. The coin had two special states, one of which he called hunger. If it did not kill anyone for over a week and remained in Smith's possession, it would cause disaster to random people besides Smith. Every time, at least one person would be killed. The other state was full, just like now. The coin would buzz and tremble. When this happened, Smith had to find a place to release the extra souls from it. The abandoned building had become the perfect choice. Even Smith had no idea how many souls he had released into the abandoned building over these years. Thus, the abandoned building had also become an actual haunted place. Students who entered the building would eventually encounter accidents of various severity. The university had tried to demolish the abandoned building before, but again it was accompanied by accidents. One time, the university planned to demolish the old building by implosion. However, the explosives prepared by the engineering company blasted its own people into the sky instead. In another instance, there was a mechanical accident. When the excavator removed a wall, it fell down and killed 4 people. Since then, the abandoned building had been left untouched. After all, the amount of compensation that the university had paid was enough to buy a few pieces of land of similar size. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.